hate you.
She ran for governor, but couldn't win an election that even Bush could fix. So what's Janet Reno doing now?
Welcome to the Janet Reno Foosball Arcade. It's much more than just a pastime and dusty old machines in the back of a bowling alley. These are state-of-the-art regulation-sized foosball gaming tables for the most serious of foosball fans to hone their skills. Try out for the Foosball Super Bowl, where you can challenge current champions Ozzy Osbourne and Michael J. Fox. Or just relax in our dining area with nourishment provided by Shakey's Pizza and Steak and Shake. Top your meal off with a creamy Shake-a-Pudding. Your children will be amused by the broken animatron puppet of Don Shula.
I love stem cells. They love me. Let's have more brains than more meat. Let's have more research on them, please. You just can't have enough.
Watch me ride the perfect storm boat, where I can stand perfectly still. Or try your luck at my shake and bake cook-off and paint mixing competition.
You can see this old fella's been keeping busy. The Reno Foosball Arcade. For reservations, call now. 1-800-DICK-VAN-DYKE. That's 1-800-DICK-VAN-DYKE.
1042. How's Dick Van Dyke doing? Still plastered, huh? So this works out pretty well for us, right?
Perfectly.
A lot of stuff going on, man. We don't know what most of it is, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, what are we doing? We doing both of these very brief breaks here, like we'll smash them together?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not? We'll do a 4-minute job at the 10:56. Anybody that's keeping track out there likes to write this stuff down, has a diary of the show. Those are the real heavy-duty groupies. They keep like a... Actually, there are people who do that. I don't think of this show, but like Stern's show. Have you ever seen that website? There's one guy that keeps track like minute by minute, and he writes in detail everything that was said and what they talked about, and where he had his finger while they were talking about it. It's just amazing.
Well,
we'll probably have a couple of those people. Anyway, 10:56, we got a strong break coming up. Anyway, here's the deal from yesterday. We had 1,938 votes. Can you believe that?
I have to. It's there.
If anybody was out of town yesterday, I'm sure there's still probably people coming back from the holidays, right? Stretching out a little bit. When in doubt, they like to stretch it out. And they're not aware of the news that Howard Stern's show on QM this morning was his third to last on this radio station. And let me, again, make it very clear, I had nothing to do with that. I know I have to keep saying that because people are going to say, oh, no, that's because he was pissed off that he wasn't starting at 10. We weren't really ecstatic about that, but it has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's a corporate decision that was made, obviously, I don't know when it was made, but it was made. Totally separate and above anybody else, including yours truly. But you think whatever you want to believe, because that's what they do anyway, because they're the experts. We know nothing, they're the experts.
Right.
So tomorrow and Friday are Stern's last 2 days on this station.
Careful.
On this station. 1,900 plus votes that we asked yesterday. What's your take on Hank Goldberg replacing Howard Stern on QM? That's what's going to happen on Monday. Hank will be on 7 to 10 saying...
Hey, stupid!
For 3 hours. We don't know what's going to be on before 7. It definitely will not be. Please, Santa Claus, tell me, if you're still hanging around, that there's not going to be Sporting News Radio in morning drive. I mean, overnight, 2 to 5 in the morning, that's fine. There's nobody awake at that hour. It's perfect for that. But
I think that's what it's going to be.
No. Well, why do you say that?
Because I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
Well, have you heard anything about 2 to 4, which we're going to decide that on our show today on the poll? No. It's only Wednesday. What's the big rush?
Right. I'm sure it's already worked out.
Haven't after 7 years of this stuff you learned that we don't plan these things way in advance. It's more fun this way. It's kind of like when we first went on the air December 30th, 7 years ago. Remember that?
I do.
And they were still putting the studio together, that makeshift studio down on the second floor. They were putting it together just before we went on the air. That was part of the adventure of the whole thing. Anybody can be prepared and plan ahead, have all their ducks in a row, whatever the saying is. But not here at QM. We like to have adventure. Will this, and then of course everybody disappears, everybody vanishes, and you hold your breath. Oh, is this going to fly? And they just continue lucking out. 1,900 plus votes. What's your take on Hank Goldberg replacing Howard Stern on QM, which starts next Monday, January 10th? I'm thrilled. Neil will be back to 10 to 2. 628 people voted that. 32, almost a third of the audience.
You turd.
Almost a third of the audience voted for that. I don't care. Don't listen before Neil anyway. 365 more said that. I'm pissed, but I'll still listen to Neil. 278. See, that was better than yesterday. Yesterday sounded obscene, whatever that noise was.
That was awful.
I'm thrilled. I'm a Hank/sports nerd fan, 231. Hank blows and I won't listen, 159. I'll still listen to Stern on the Buzz, for those who can listen. I would say like from Central Broward up through Palm Beach County. You can hear the Buzz just fine on FM, whatever that station is, PBZ, the Buzz. 154 said that. And I'm pissed off. I'm through with QAM, 123, only 6.3%. Thank the Lord. Thank God that came in last place. Although we're not happy to have anybody depart, but we can't stop you. We can't sit there and keep your hand on it and the dial too. So if you're I remember those first days. Remember when we were talking about the 10 to 2 situation? Mm-hmm. And we had a couple of the Stern people call. Well, we really like your show a lot, and I'm a Stern fan. But if they cut him off at 10, we would be really pissed off and never listen to you again. I don't understand that at all. But to each its own, right?
Right.
I don't recall that we had anybody saying, well, because you're not starting at 10, we're never going to listen. I don't understand certain mentalities, but nevertheless. So that's where that is. I'm not going to do it all over again at 11 o'clock. I think we're like kind of potty training the audience now. That they better be standing by now that Stern is in his waning days on this station.
Keep checking back.
Yeah, just check back with us like they used to say on WSUN, like Tom Velveeta used to say. Oh, those were the days, weren't they? Those were really the days.
I was a geek.
Yeah, good old Tom Velveeta. He was a pretty good guy. He knew nothing about the business. That's why he worked for Cox Broadcasting.
He didn't have to. He followed orders really well.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
And then, of course, there was Kurt.
Oh, God!
And Susie's short skirts. Anyway, our Beaded Curtain today, speaking of short skirts, what a nice segue. Thank you. Torrie Wilson. Never heard of Torrie Wilson because I don't care about the WWE and because I'm one of those fags. But anyway, they grow a lot of things on the farms of Boise, Idaho. It says potatoes, corn. I wonder if that's a reference to Defoe. And wheat among them. But all of the things that come from Boise farms, of all of them, Torrie Wilson may be the most appetizing, it says. This is from the WWE website, no less. So we know it's got to be the Emmis. The luscious Torrie is one of the blonde bombshells of WWE, a former fitness model who has won numerous championships and has appeared on the cover of countless magazines. Where is it? I don't understand where the rest of this. I lost the rest of it. When she was born, nobody cares. When she got to Boise State University, she became a nutrition major and quickly learned how to incorporate physical fitness and proper diet into a healthy lifestyle. She looks fairly healthy. In 1998, when she was crowned Miss Galaxy, Torrie broke into the sports entertainment business with WCW in 1999. In June 2001, she made her WWE debut, or is it WWE? Since then, she's made WWE fans stand and take notice, as the sight of Torrie in a bikini is sure to make anyone weak in the knees. In May 2003, again in March 2004, she was on the cover of Playboy magazine. The latter appearance was a historical spread with fellow SmackDown Diva Sable, making them the first diva duo ever to grace the pages of Playboy. She's also not afraid to put on wrestling tights and mix it up in the ring. With her unique combination of in-ring talents and stunning beauty, Torrie can do whatever she wants in WWE. There you go. She's on our Beaded Curtain today. Also, I want to take a little shot here at Kurt Warner, who makes me sick to my stomach. They had, on this week on The Wheel of Fortune, one of my favorite TV shows. It's about the only network show I watch religiously beside Dan Rather. Somebody's got to watch him. Kurt Warner, that was one of the guest players, Uh-huh. And in the middle of the show, I don't know where the hell this came from. There was like a promo with he was voicing it, and it was like for the Christian Fellowship or something like that. And faith in Jesus can save your ass. And I thought to myself, would you ever stop? Why don't you bastards cut the crap?
Jesus Christ.
The Fellowship, the Jesus Christers, man. How does that belong in the middle of Wheel of Fortune? Where'd that come from? Even Vanna was like spinning like a dreidel. She couldn't believe it.
Well, that's definitely him. Have you seen his wife? Because she's worse.
Oh, is she?
Oh, I'm surprised you haven't seen her.
Why, she got a bigger beard?
Well, they always show her, in like the front row, giving the, and then when they talk to her, she does the whole Jesus thing, too. Like, I don't know why they're talking to her, for that one good year Kurt Warner had, but... Yeah,
the one big year. He was a flash in the pan, man. I guess then Jesus kind of got onto other business.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and he just kind of abandoned people like Reggie White and Kurt Warner, although Reggie he abandoned big time, just kind of like dropped him like a bad penny. Oh, speaking of football, there's nothing to talk about the game last night. Like I told you, SC all the way, man, blowout, total mismatch. That's why the whole thing with the college football ratings and all these silly juvenile, overgrown children, it just amuses me because they don't play similar schedules. The NFL, even if they've got a weak schedule, they're still playing NFL teams all year. But in NCAA, they're playing like the Hurricanes like to put on like the School of the Blind and Vassar. At least 2 or 3 of them. Notre Dame is famous for doing that too. They play Navy every year, and then every now and then lose because they're so bad.
Yeah.
But so last night, obviously, USC was going to pound the crap out of Oklahoma. Get serious. But Josh tells me there was an O.J. sighting in the stands last night by him.
There was an O.J. sighting. Oh, it wasn't in the stands. It was actually when I was walking to my seat. And a guy yelled, "He's got a knife!" And he stopped signing his autographs and ran to his seat. He scrammed real quick.
Oh, that is beautiful.
But the best part of the night, by far, was the entire stadium booed Ashley Simpson.
Oh,
Made the news.
Oh.
Did they?
It was phenomenal. Like the whole
Now, what was she doing? Was she singing the national anthem or something?
No, there was like a halftime show with her.
Oh, I did see that. I saw 2 seconds. I saw it was her, and I immediately changed the channel. I went to the Racing Network or something.
But I mean, I'm talking. They announced her, nobody clapped, and at the end, everybody booed her. It was
good,
phenomenal.
You can't complain about her talent because she doesn't have any. Although she does have a famous sister who also doesn't have much talent except that she's dumb and at least looks good anyway.
Yeah, she looks good.
Yeah, that's
See, Ashley Simpson, she can't sing. She doesn't look good.
Right.
She has no talent. She's dumber than a rock. And other than that, what can you say? So it goes to show you it's good to have good relatives, good connections. Let's see. Now, here's the pool for today. Can I switch the pool? I don't want to do it twice like I did yesterday. That would be twice. Bad. Well, and don't think that this one is frivolous, all right? The one yesterday was like kind of anticlimactic, even though we had a humongous response. But this may actually have pull some weight, because these people haven't got a freaking clue what they're going to do. You know, they just it's all over the place. Thanks to the Herald and the Sun Sentinel and Radio Inc. and FMQB and Radio and Records, especially Radio and Records, they actually wrote kind of like positive, nice stuff about me. What do they say? Like radio legend. Can you believe that?
Yeah, you're legendary.
It says the legendary South Florida Tom. Well, I'll get to that. Anyway, here's the poll. Who should do 2 to 4 p.m. on WQAM? Now, we may have left some names off of here. Jeff DeForest, Curtis Stevenson, the Big, because he's
rock solid.
Mo Howard David, Geldy, Kimba Bocamper, and then we also added on, which I guess you'll have to type these in, Josh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I haven't clicked the thing yet. There we go. I just swished. The Crow, which, I mean, you know, for comic relief, he doesn't belong on here even to say hello, but it would be kind of amusing.
Hey, 567. Oh, 8560.
Oh, he is.
So you see some arm problems.
And then, of course, how could we possibly forget? And we added him on there right away to cover up for that problem. So there's the list we got so far. I'm not putting Rick and Suds on there because it doesn't make any sense. There's no chance. We only want names on there that these people might possibly consider.
Right, people who are in the running, options.
Which they would have to be sports nerd people, because obviously now they want to go back into the sanctity of sports nerdism, because venturing too far out of that realm, they get themselves into a little hot water, you know what I'm saying? They've dabbled a little bit outside the realm of sports nerd talk, and it just creates a few too many problems. I don't want to get like too specific, but it has created some...
Please don't say the F word.
...consternation. So that's our poll for today, okay? Let's do the break. We'll come back and we'll say it all over again for the people just tuning in at 11. Don't forget, next Monday we start 10 to 2 every day. I know that's revolutionary to actually come on at the same time every day, but we go back to something we've been doing for like about 20 years now, it seems, and that's 10 to 2. Starting at the exact same time every day. What a concept. That sounds almost like on a real radio station, doesn't it?
Like a schedule.
But everybody's happy now, I guess. The Humper, I heard a couple of minutes of him yesterday. He was talking about getting up at 5:30 in the morning and whatever else he was talking about. Don't do it, Hank. Don't do any more suspensions, please. Although now that Scaran is gone, that eliminates one of the reasons for Hank getting suspended. He's already done his Jeffrey Luria suspension, so that one I don't think will be happening again. And, of course, if we lose the Dolphins to ESPN, to sports, or whatever that thing is, then he doesn't have to worry about that, because Wayne won't have his finger hovering over us anymore, will he?
No, not at all.
Although, you know, with Mad Dog still involved in the Dolphin broadcast, there still always will be that element there.
Right.
That elemental Swiss. 10:56 at 560 WQAM. Hey, all you horse racing fans and poker players, Pompano Park Racing and Poker is the place to be for great gambling action. You can plunge your guts out to your heart's content. Pompano Park features free admission and free general parking every day. Live harness racing in the poker room open every Monday, Wednesday, like tonight, Friday and Saturday. Poker starts at noon today, and live racing gets underway tonight at 7:25 p.m. Don't forget, every Monday night there's a 2 for $25 dinner special at the Top of the Park restaurant. Every Wednesday night, like tonight, is Dollar Night at Pompano Park for draft beers, soda, hot dogs, and lots more. And best of all, and far and away my personal favorite besides betting on Don Brainerd, the first Monday of every month is free spaghetti dinner night. I'm not sure who I like better, Don Brainerd or Miriam Tolan. Free spaghetti dinner night the first Monday of every month at Pompano Park. So all you freeloaders out there, all you people who love lots of pasta, Monday night, all you got to do is buy a program, and you go in there and just shove it down your puss. Pompano Park is also open every day, 7 days and nights a week for simulcasting with the best in harness, thoroughbred, and highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and plunge your guts on. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For that new racing schedule, you can go on the Wicked Web at pompanopark.com, or you can call 954-972-2000. 954-972-2000. Pompano Park horsepower you can plunge on. Don't forget, poker starts at noon today. Post time tonight's first race, 7:25 p.m.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and midday. And sports around the clock. 560 WQAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
From pop superstar Ashley Simpson comes this year's most highly awaited concert album. It's Ashley Simpson, Barely Live, featuring all her hits as performed on stage, like Pieces of Me.
On a Monday, I'm waiting. Tuesday, I'm forgetting.
Ashley Simpson, Barely Live is the concert album that sounds too good to be true. Almost as good as not being there. Ashley Simpson, Barely Live. Available wherever fine music is sold.
I think back. That was still back in the day of my old CD, my Denon CD decks here.
Right.
That were skipping and jumping, and when I'm dubbing that in there into the computer, I'm thinking, what is going on here? I had to listen to it about 3 times, maybe more than that.
About 30, man.
But it's amusing, and it's right on target. She has no talent. People detest her like poison. Even worse than I hate Phil Simms, if that's possible. It's 11:01 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. I was just thinking, maybe this is a rationalization, you think? Even though people do like continuity, they like, consistency in broadcasting. They like to know what time a show starts, who's on first, who's going to be on when. The fact of the matter is, you've got to admit that there's a certain element of excitement and neurosis, and at least it keeps it from getting stale.
Right. They'll keep checking in at least to see what's going to happen next.
It's like a whirling dervish, this radio station, that just constantly just in a state of flux, like I was saying yesterday, that's with an L, and just always like everything is up in the air, like the juggler, the balls are always up in the air, and they never come back down in anybody's hand. 3 more U.S. troops killed in Iraq. Speaking of that sound you just played, 3 more U.S. soldiers killed in roadside bombing in Baghdad.
I thought we got that terrorist.
Well, it's still a little problem here and there. The military said after a soldier was killed in a similar attack north of the capital, and a Marine was killed in action in the west. The 3 soldiers were killed, 2 others wounded in roadside bombing in northern Baghdad at 11 o'clock yesterday, said the military. This came after 1 U.S. soldier was killed and another wounded in a similar road attack in Balad, north of the capital. A Marine was on. In fact, it's getting to the point now, as I'm reading the story, I can't even keep track of it because it says a Marine was also killed early in action yesterday in Al-Anbar province west of the capital. The deaths brought to the total, which nobody seems to care, 1,335, the number of U.S. military personnel killed in Iraq since the U.S.-led invasion in Iraq in March 2003. 1,335. Now, something we hear very little about because it's very bad PR and it's bad for the government and it's embarrassing as hell. The number of U.S. troops wounded in Iraq since the start of the war has surpassed 10,000, the Pentagon said yesterday in a delayed update of its casualty data. Of the 10,252 total wounded, the Pentagon said 5,396 were unable to return to duty, and 4,800 plus sustained injuries that were light enough to allow them to resume their duties. The total is normally reported each week, but the Pentagon hadn't updated the figure since December 22nd. Everybody was on vacation on holiday. We can't be bothered with stuff like that, right? The number of U.S. we know about 1,335. So the bad news continues in spite of all the
we're fine.
blue sky reports we have, and supposedly 25 days from today is going to be that election on January.
About 30, man.
But I don't think so. Now, let me get back to this poll, because this may be the first time in the history of this show that we've taken a poll where you folks might actually have some influence. I don't know. I mean, I can't promise that, but it might make a difference. Wouldn't you think?
No, I wouldn't think.
Well, I mean, it might. There's a slim possibility, like a 1 in 80 trillion chance that they might take a look at this and say, well, the audience seems to feel this way, although there isn't any clear leader at the moment. Who should be doing 2 to 4? That's the big gap. I mean, those are going to be big shoes to fill because Mandich is sliding up to 4 to 7 to fill a Hank spot, which Hank is sliding back to 7 to 10 in the morning, which there it is. This is kind of like what Pete Bolger used to do on the light bulb all the time.
Right. Shuffle the deck.
Shuffle the deck. And I used to rip him for that. Only at least here we've got people that belong on the air. Whereas in his case, he was just taking people that didn't belong on the air, like Joyce Kaufman and Norma Kent and people like that. And the one guy he did have was a real broadcaster, which was Craig Worthing. He had shoved down there at night when nobody could hear that 10-watt signal. I think it was personal, Craig. Whatever. Anyway, here's the deal. Who should do 2 to 4 on QM? And like I was starting to say, Mad Dog has had huge numbers in those 2 hours just about every month, every book. The sun is shining. Can you believe it?
I believe it.
The sun is shining for a second day in a row in TO. I cannot believe that. In fact, it is a nice toasty -4, which is about like 26 Fahrenheit. That's not too bad, huh? Looks nice sitting inside looking out.
Right.
And I got to say it again. This dry heat, oh, brother, that's about the only thing, other than days when it's really nasty, and there aren't too many of those every winter, but the thing that, living up north, you got the dry heat going, and that just dries out your nasal passages. I think I deserve tremendous kudos, by the way. I'll pat myself on the back for dodging the bullet again on another cold scare. I think it's allergies.
It must be.
I think it was being down there for a week and getting all stressed out with the just horrible
You're
week.
the petri dish of the world? I don't believe you.
And then coming back here, the sudden change in climate. That's a good excuse. Sure. Anyway, so far, Jeff the florist, which God forbid. Hey, listen, if he comes on, well, whatever, we'll promote him. Here he is with all that cornball crap. Who knows nothing about sports, but he doesn't know a lot about boxing. And he remembers that Eddie Jackman and Gump Worsley once were goalies for the Rangers 100 years ago. I don't know what his deal is. He talk about a bad penny. He's like another one of those people that just never goes away, you know? Kind of like, I'm trying to think of somebody like Sam, what was his name? The guy with no teeth? Sam Geisen.
Who?
Oh, some of these old-timers that used to be, like Mickey Dane, you know, they're just always there forever and ever until they either croak or finally nobody will humor them anymore. Jeff DeForest 13, Curtis Stevenson 12. He's the sleeper, baby. I think that's a good choice. Curtis is good. Why not give a young guy, you know, that's what supposedly this station's all about, right?
Right.
Is having some of the old Jews and some of the other old ex-jocks, and then also trying to wean and bring along some of the young guys who really know sports inside and out, who got a decent voice, they're good on the air, they got a little sense of humor, and like you make them into a something, right?
Nurture
Instead of like rehashing the same old retreads all over again. I'm not going to mention any names, retreads. Let's see, it keeps changing by the second here. This one could be big. 61 votes. Jeff DeForest 17, Curtis Stevenson 16. Nice going, Curtis. Kim Bocamper 11. Mo Howard David at 10. I have to admit I voted for Mo. Not because I like him, but because it just...
I'm not going to fax this, but we should put Boog on there.
No, we can't. The reason I didn't put Boog on there is because he's going to be doing baseball. See, we're only putting people on there who can do this. Don't you understand, mister? Don't you get it?
Huh?
Boog can't do it. In addition to which, Boog is not a talk show host. He's a great play-by-play guy. He is horrible doing talk radio.
Well, we got people on there that qualify for that statement.
Yeah. What?
That are horrible.
No, but at least they could do it. I'm not saying these people are... Look, this is the list.
All right.
That's what we got. And maybe some of the audience has got some other ideas. I don't know. But there's no sense in putting, like, Rick and Suds on there. They're not going to hire Rick and Suds. No. There isn't a Chinaman's chance in purgatory that they're going to put Rick and Suds on this station. Just isn't going to happen. As much as we like Suds, and we might even tolerate Rick, but it just ain't going to happen. And there's no sense in putting Boog Shambi or Dave Van Boring on there because they're busy with Marlins baseball. Now, speaking of that, when the hell did we find out who's on first and who's carrying what? Isn't that Marlins contract up for renewal now?
I'm not sure.
Well, what do you mean you're not sure? You're part of that whole organization, man.
Well, how about I'll find out for you?
You're there massaging Dave Van Boring's ego or whatever you're massaging every game, every home game anyway. Yeah, we better find out. I'm sure of that nobody knows. But I think we'll get them because remember the article yesterday where Wayne was saying he wanted the Dolphins on a station where it was the only sports team. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now, that makes no sense to me. I don't know what that means. Well, they're going to be the showcase. Well, of course, after this past season, there'll be a showcase, all right, like in a freak show. Like let me tell you another thing about Kurt Warner, which you probably never noticed this before. He's got AJ touchy-feely syndrome. His nose is pointed off. Although AJ's is pointed to the west, Kurt Warner's nose is pointed to the east. It's kind of like it's off-center. It's not in the middle of his face like most people. Now, maybe Jesus can fix that for him. Or maybe that's where Jesus is in the Far East or the Middle East. Think that's possible?
No, he's busy with those tsunami victims.
Oh, no, he's not. He was on vacation when that happened. 78 votes. Jeff DeForest 23. Curtis Stevenson 20. I'm very happy to see Curtis doing such a good job. And of course, these people that are voting, they know who these people are. They're listeners, and they've listened and they've heard the people that do a good show and the people who can. Now, who's going to be on with Hank? Do we know?
Doing what? The producer?
No. Nobody does a morning show alone. I sure hope they don't think they're going to put Hank in there all by himself for 3 hours every morning. You know as well as I do that when you're a morning show, you need a sidekick. You have to have somebody on there besides Robert Creepy Grieper. Bo Camper 13, Mo Howard David at 12. The Big O's got 7. Forget about that. Geldy's got 3. You won't be hearing him on there. Warren the Crow, Marty, none. And Joe Zagaki's got the big so far. And like I said, if the audience has got any additional choices, let's see. No, this isn't going to happen, Jim. This isn't going to happen. It says, can we have Mo and Geldy together again from 2 to 4? No to Mo and Geldy again. I'm really missing them. Well, they're not missing each other. They hate each other like poison, okay? I mean, if you think there was a rift between me and Mo or Hank and Mo, no chance. There's a greater chance, Jim, that you're going to walk in your backyard in about a half an hour and find 14 palm trees sprouted up, each with $80 million in cash in small bills hanging from them, okay? There is no chance that Mo and Geldy are going to be doing anything together, much less on the air. Well, off the air, I don't know. WQAM, hello. Our first call of the day, and there it is. Silent.
Yo, how are you?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good. I still trick with Norm Kent, and
Great. I hope you have a good time, okay? That's another one of Norma's runaways. WQAM, hello.
Mental show.
Good idea.
Yeah, let's put Prozac Ron on to the floor. That'd be a hell of a show. I like it. Or, you know what else we could do?
What?
We could have, like, the Chronic show.
Yeah, just have somebody opening up the phone pod.
That's right.
Periodically.
And just have all we could have Reverend Jones and his boyfriend. We could have Norm Kent's Trick that just called. We could have Prozac Ron. Yeah, we could have them all on together between two. I guarantee you get a bigger number than Jeff DeForest. You see, let me just try to explain this to you, which I'm sure you're aware of. And that is when you're trying to put somebody, I mean, I don't care what anybody says, well, those hours aren't as important as afternoon drive. Technically, that's true. But when you've got a guy that's been getting like 7, 8, and 9 shares in there for the last 2-3 years, however long Mad Dog's been doing that, you don't want to go from that all of a sudden to like 1 and 2 shares to embarrassing numbers in there, you know?
No, that's a sellable
And believe
number.
me, there are some people on this list, without mentioning any names, who are not going to get any big number. Believe me when I tell you, all right? That's why it's important. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM. We got Mad Dog at 2. Boy, that's 3 days in a row for the Mad Dog. A tough schedule this week for him. The Humper's going to be at Wyndham Crystal Palace in the Bahamas from 4 to 7 today and tomorrow. And what about Friday? No, in the studio, back in the studio on Friday. He'll probably lose his ass by then. Humper from 4 to 7. Hurricane Hotline at 7. Then we got the Big at 8. Now, what's that all about? Isn't the Beast on the Hurricane Hotline thing?
Yeah.
Well, how come he's not on afterward? How come we got the Big...
Rock solid.
Oh. Anyway, he's 8 to 10, which we apologize for, and Eddie K at 10 o'clock. Poor old Eddie K. See, Eddie K is safe. He's in there at night, doesn't make any waves, he does his thing, he plunges his guts out, he gives the odds, the overs, the unders, the ins and the outs, and that's it. Keeps his nose clean, minds his own business, and he's, like, safe because he doesn't have to be involved with all these other crazy people that we're involved with all the time. Too bad I can't be there close and personal with them. By the way, next time you see Matty Bell in the hall, anybody, just step on him. Resolve yourself to a better night's sleep in 2005 by calling our good paisans at Dial a Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS right now. Nothing's got a bigger impact on your daily health, well-being, and productivity than a good night's sleep. And I guarantee, I'll bet you Maddie's life on it, you can get a good sleep as soon as tonight on a great mattress from Dial a Mattress if you make that call right now to 1-800-MATTRESS. If your mattress is more than 10 years old, or maybe it's noticeably sagging or lumpy, or you're falling off the edges, it's time for a brand new great mattress. Choose from a complete line of the best names in the universe. They got them all. Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns, and Foster Hewitt. Dial a Mattress takes same-day orders all day long from Kendall to Stewart, Palm Beach to Fort Myers, and you still get that unbeatable deal because they let you pick the date and 2-hour delivery window when it's convenient for you when you want that mattress delivered, and they show up on time 99.7% of the time, about as close to perfect as you can get. Dial a Mattress won the 2004 Better Business Bureau Local Torch Award for excellence. I've been a satisfied Dial a Mattress customer for years now. I wouldn't dream of buying a mattress any other way, neither should you. If you want to go to your bedding and department stores, you're a sucker. You're getting ripped off. You're an idiot. But if you want to do the smart thing, sit there on your fat ass right now, pick up the phone and call 1-800-MATTRESS or log on to their world-famous website, mattress.com. Dial a Mattress, the easiest possible way to guarantee yourself a great night's sleep for years to come. 1-800-MATTRESS.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I think this new government might be a waste of time. To push things that could fix things up. Sure out of his mind, yeah. There'll still be chaos over there. There'll still be bullets in your hair. I don't want to hear from Bush that he's restoring peace. How will we know it's a Conceded. With that new democracy, I guess we'll know we've succeeded. When you see more Mickey D's. McDonald's.
You are to be happy and to be feeling carefree because President Saddam Hussein has defeated the infidel Clinton and the satanic America while causing great embarrassment to the covetous and inflicting great pain on our enemies during the recent UN inspection standoff. This is why, my fellow Iraqi citizens, Baghdad McDonald's is to be celebrating most strenuously this weekend. Yes, automatic weapons are to be fired into the air without regard for human safety as you enter the Baghdad McDonald's. Bring what remains of your family to be meeting Ronald Mohammed at the door.
Do not be forgetting, at noon today, I am to be chopping off the hands of the hamburger.
You are to be sending the fruit of your loins to play in the kitty bunker as you choose from a most tempting menu that includes Big Macs with secret scud sauce, Fish McBoom sandwiches, quarter pounder with fuse, not to be forgetting our famous flies. Yes, my fellow Iraqi citizens, we are to be celebrating our wondrous leader Saddam Hussein's victory over the soulless ones of the United Nations and eat this weekend at the Baghdad McDonald's.
A portion of proceeds will be given to our great leader Saddam Hussein's most secretive researching program to be building weapons of mass destruction.
11:19. I thought it was a good segue. I mean, we probably would never play that again anyway, right?
Right. I hope not.
Here's a That's why I got it out of the way. Here's the fact that says when are Rick and Suds going to be back in the year. I think the 12th of Never is the date, right?
I'll mark it down.
Yeah, it's a song by Johnny Mattress, the 12th of Never. Mark it on your calendar, all you Neverland people. They're not going to be back on the air. They're not working together. The Suds is like living off his wife's income, and I have no idea what Rick is doing and couldn't care less, to be honest with you. They're not going to be back on the air. It says now that Stern is not going to be on WQAM, where can I listen to him? Probably on an FM radio in Palm Beach. Also, Neil, you are great. I've been listening to you since the late 80s. Big fan. You do a great job, whether you're on AM, FM, or satellite. I will always look for you. Keep it up and say hi to Stoned George. Hi, Stoned George.
Hi.
Okay, let's take a few more names. It looks like Depot is going to win this thing, which it's not a star-studded list of choices here, I'm afraid to say.
But it's accurate.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. They keep blowing the place up, and it's all right if you got like a whole bunch of real stellar winners waiting in the in the wings. Just like I said yesterday about Stern with his Sirius stations. Who's he going to put on there? Most of the people in radio who mean anything are already under contract. Who is he going to put on there? And I have a feeling, I already know it's going to be something like Artie is going to have his own show, and maybe Robin, if her TV thing doesn't pan out, she'll have her own show. It's going to be Howard and Friends. You know, all of his appendages. Don't you think?
I have no doubt.
Who else is he going to put on? Everybody else that's got any talent is obviously working for somebody. Line 9, this should be good. QAM, hello.
Hi, how about George and Suds?
George and Suds sounds like a real winner. The only problem is George is working 10 to 2. You'd probably do it if you didn't have... I'm sure that Manny Bell would vote for you.
Oh, yeah.
No. See what I mean by that? WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I got a suggestion for your poll, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Happy New Year to you, by the way, anyway.
And back to you, Pally.
I just want to suggest Len Martez. It's sports talk.
that would be interesting. It would be different. Okay, thanks a lot. Put Lenny Martez on there. It's kind of cute, right?
He qualifies.
Yeah.
Budget's new frequent rental program now gives you a choice of awards. Earn free rental days, Callaway golf products, and other...
I swear to you, I have no idea what those last half dozen words were. Products was one of them, but in between there, I don't know what he said. I haven't got a freaking clue what he was talking about. Lenny Martez, that would be different. And sure as hell would be more exciting and controversial than Defoe. Yeah,
it doesn't sound like that anymore, you know. I mean,
what do you mean by that?
He sounds less like that now.
Does he?
He got some therapy.
Did he really? Well, that's good. That's good. Man, in fact, maybe a little bit more. I'll tell you, here's another sleeper. I don't think we need to put him on there because he isn't going to get any votes. But you know who that is? Right inside our building? Who's good on the air and wants to be on the air? Troy!
Oh, yeah, actually.
Troy Stratford. Troy's, I hate to say this because every now and then he can be a little bit of a pain in the ass.
He qualifies. He's an ex-jock.
He's an ex-jock. Not a superstar like our other ex-jocks, but nevertheless, he was running back for about 5 minutes. And he's good on the air. He's articulate. He knows what he's talking about.
Cut spots that sound just fine.
Yeah, Troy's a good man. But we can put them on there. Troy Stratford. We need to expand this list. Need to get some other names on our big side. Defoe running away with it. Look at that. 41 votes for Defoe. Curtis Stevenson. Look at what Curtis has got.
About 30, man.
Pleased to see that. Mo Howard David at 22. Kimba Vocamper 14. The big...
Oh!
We ought to have a jingle. Remember the big 8CKL? How about... Oh, we do have that. You got it? I don't have that in here, I'm sure.
The big O!
I think you do.
Rock solid.
I do?
It's under the big O.
No.
Rock solid.
Oh, I got that.
Oh well.
That's all I got. Sorry. Anyway, Big O's got 13. Warren the Crow Cromarty's got 7. That shows you how desperate we are. Geldy's got 7. And poor Joe Zagaki's only got a small pair.
Joe Zagak.
Oh, poor Joe Zagak. The Radio and Records website says Neil Rogers re-ups at WQAM Miami. The legendary South Florida talk host has inked a 2-year extension on his deal that'll keep him on the air from 10 to 2 p.m. daily at the Beasley Broadcasting sports outlet through December of 2008. Rogers became Miami's first $1 million talk host when he signed with WQAM in 1997. While details of the contract extension were not released, it reportedly includes a significant 6-figure signing bonus and annual salary increases for Rogers, along with provisions for him to become syndicated nationally should he wish to do so. Well, we'll see about that, won't we? And I still say if Sirius or XM wanted to carry the show, they could do it. If they're doing it with Opry and Anthony on XM, and they're on traditional terrestrial... Well, where did that come from? Who came up with that stupid-ass terrestrial radio? Why couldn't we just say traditional radio, terrestrial radio, as opposed to satellite? Yeah,
it's not like the satellite doesn't start on Earth either.
Right.
And AM signals bounce off of the
clowns,
stratosphere.
you idiots, that always come up with this garbage. Now, let's see. Here's kind of a cute little story, speaking of Stern. Radio Inc., which hasn't discovered all this other stuff yet. Come on, you guys are so far behind the times, man. John Mainelli writes in the New York Post that Howard Stern has been slapped with a $200,000 advertising bill for all the plugs he gave Sirius Satellite Radio last year. It's a former family feud because the bill came from Citadel Broadcasting CEO Fareed Suleiman, longtime colleague of Stern's at Infinity Broadcasting. Keep sending me bills, Stern said, like I'm going to pay him. Stern made that statement on his radio show after hearing he'd been dropped by Citadel in Syracuse and 3 other cities. This is supposed to be my punishment, he said. Citadel announced last month that instead of running the best of Stern on its stations in Syracuse during the Shock Jocks 2-week holiday vacation, it aired simulcast of Opie and Anthony, Stern's arch rivals, who now work for Sirius competitor XM. How do you like his arch rivals? Wow. Now, here's the article by Kevin Baxter. Now, like I was saying the other day, the Herald is notorious for this. One day you're the sports writer at the Herald, the next day you're writing feature columns about religion, and the day after that you're writing about Ashley Simpson and her wardrobe. And it's just amazing what a bogus newspaper the Herald is. Even that Jim DeFeedy, that fat pudwhacker, that Jim DeFeedy, even he was talking about it about a year ago when he started. Remember that column about, oh, well, the Herald used to be a great newspaper, but not anymore. Remember that?
I do.
WQAM shuffling its lineup again. Now, this is, kind of repetitious, but it's kind of cute in the fact that, well, we'll see. For the second time in 4 months, sports talk radio station WQAM 560 is remaking its on-air lineup, dropping shock jock Howard Stern for Morning Drive and replacing with afternoon host Hank Goldberg beginning Monday. Early afternoon personality Jim Mandich is expected to move into Goldberg's old afternoon drive time slot from 4 to 7 p.m., although station officials declined comment Tuesday. Mandich signed off his Monday show by hinting at major changes at the station, then opened Tuesday's program saying he was ready to embrace a different audience, different challenges. But Mandich added, a deal ain't a deal until it's a deal. Oh, we can relate to that on this show. Wow. Get it in writing, like I told you, Hank, Mad Dog, get it in writing, get it in Braille, get it engraved in platinum. And do not, whatever you do, sign all of those other provisions that Joyce and Carolyn want you to sign over there. We won't say this and we won't say that. If we have lousy ratings, you can fire us back. I mean, it was unbelievable what they put us through. Just incredible. Station General Mangler, Greg Reed, did not return calls seeking comment. How unusual. And a WQM official declined to confirm the move, saying, we haven't announced anything yet. No, we're doing it the usual way, then dribs and drabs. Don't say a word. Then, of course, it's in the paper the next day. WQM's on-air lineup will undergo further tinkering to fill holes created by Goldberg's and Mandich's moves. Stern signed out at 6 a.m., for example, an hour earlier than Goldberg's show will start, leaving the station with an open hour in the morning. And Mandich's switch opens a spot for an afternoon host, 2 to 4. The station is likely to use syndicated program in the morning, and the interim probably will offer tryouts to one or more hosts on the staff for the afternoon slot. Tryouts? Oh, no.
That's going to be great.
Sounds like a Steve Nickel deal.
Can't wait.
Oh, no, that's got to be a joke. That's got to be Kevin Baxter's imagination. Tryouts. There is nothing worse in broadcasting, radio, TV, you name it, than tryouts, like the amateur hour. Although that is our station. Dropping Stern will allow Neil Rogers, the station's most popular personality, to start his 4-hour midday show at 10 a.m. Stern's contract permitted the syndicated show to continue well past its scheduled sign-off. Oh, is that what the contract said? Well, WQAM's decision to drop Stern marked the second time in less than a year that the self-proclaimed king of all media has been pushed off the airwaves in South Florida. In February, WBGG, Big, dropped Stern as its longtime morning drive personality. At about the same time, the FCC began to fine the program as part of a wide-ranging crackdown on programming it deemed indecent. Stern returned to local radio on QM in August, but 2 months later announced he would leave terrestrial radio. See, there it is again. And the FCC's policing for satellite broadcasters serious when his contract expires at the end of the year. Running away. I think Mancow had it right. He's running away. When you say that's a good way to describe it?
Indeed.
Running away. Instead of modifying a little bit, being clever enough to go with the flow, just running away. But that's okay. Good luck to him. He'll need it. 28 past 11 at 560 WQAM. Too bad about Defoe being in foul, though Curtis has got a shot. And Mo, I'm really disappointed in you, Mo. You ought to be doing better than that.
Absolutely.
Lagging well in the behind. The Emerald Coast wants to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and they're mighty proud to announce that you can still enjoy Lobster Fest every Friday through Sunday at the Coast. The Emerald Coast is Florida's #1 Asian gourmet buffet, as rated by Zagat Restaurant Review. In addition to Emerald Coast all-you-can-eat buffet, now you can enjoy succulent, juicy Maine lobsters served Thermidor style. Start your mouth-watering experience with a choice of 6 different soups, then sample dozens and zillions of fantastic Oriental treats, including a fried snapper and a Thai sweet and sour sauce. An old favorite of just about everybody's whole roasted duck and hoisin sauce, even if you never heard of it. Also enjoy their brand new sushi bar featuring over 30 different items. And if you still have room, Emerald Coast's out-of-this-world dessert bar features tiramisu, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, all kinds of great goodies, and a brand new state-of-the-art chocolate fondue fountain. Just stand under there and just smear yourself all over with that chocolate fondue. Don't forget, the Emerald Coast also promotes healthy living because they don't use any crap. They use no MSG, no cornstarch. They cook all of their fine cuisine with cholesterol-free canola oil to make you healthy as well. Emerald Coast, 3 locations for you. They're in Sunrise, Sunny Isles Beach, Pembroke Pines. For reservations, call them at 954-572-3822, 954-572-3822. And Richard at the Emerald Coast points out the Leafs are still undefeated.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
He's the perfect mom and the perfect Nazi. How does she do it? Like any other good Republican soccer mother, by devouring her children after proudly sending them off to die for the company with new Iraq meat chunks. Once healthy boys and girls who were sent off to die in an unprovoked occupation are being blown into chunks of tender meat that the good folks at Soil and Halliburton won't let go to waste. Now these brave young soldiers are ready to serve their country at the dinner table with a variety of microwavable meals in less than 15 minutes. Tender chunks of flesh, charbroiled to perfection in Cheney chili, beef Rumsfeldenoff, or bush steak retartar. Enter the Iraq Meat Chunk Sweepstakes for your chance to win a khaki dictator jacket just like Fearless Leader. Iraq Meat Chunks, another fine product from the Bush Meat Grinder Machine.
11:33 at 560 WQAM. Look at that. Defoe's in the lead and Curtis is second, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be Defoe and Curtis will be like the sidekick.
All right.
Doesn't that make sense?
Sure does.
I mean, Curtis has been like with Mad Dog in there from that 2 to 4 slot. The only question being who's going to be with Mandich 4 to 7?
Curtis.
He's going to do 2 to 7?
Hey, you got to pay your dues, buddy.
That's true. That sounds like a possibility, but at any rate. No matter what we say, they're going to do something else anyway. That thing about tryouts, that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up big time. Tryouts, my ass. 5670560. There might be a few other names to put on there. I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll give it a shot. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a Howard Stern loyal listener.
Yes.
In reference to him, as far as QAM taking him off, I respect QAM, and I respect them the reason is from the beginning they had the guts to put him on, and nobody else did.
Yeah.
So I respect QAM for that. As far as him running away, he's running away from what he's been doing for 20 years, or 30. And wherever he goes, they will follow, and they will make money.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. He's not running away from anything. He's been doing the same thing for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what's he running away from?
What he's running away from is a changing standard on the traditional broadcast dial. That's what he's running away from.
But they've always tried to stop him.
I could run away, too, and say, well, gee, they won't let me play the fart sounds or use certain words on the air anymore.
But see, you don't know because you're not a Howard Stern listener. So if Howard was to modify his radio show,
what you're saying to me is
it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, that's what well, my show's not the same either, but we're doing pretty well.
But Neil, come on, come on. Be serious. This is an AM station in a redneck state.
What you're saying to me is that this guy can't do anything else besides the same thing he's been doing. He's a one-trick pony is what you're saying.
Exactly, just like you are, because you're the same way.
This show has changed dramatically since last February. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you have no other options. What other options do you have, Neil?
What does that mean? I have no other options.
You have to change or you'll be without work.
Oh, I'm going to be without work? You should live so long, pal. Go stick your head back up Howard's ass, okay? I'll be without work. I'm here because I choose to be here, okay? Believe me, I'm not going to be without work for 5 minutes, loser. And see, he didn't respond to what I said before. Howard, what he's admitting, Howard does one thing, and that's all he can do. It's like if you have a beautiful car and you can drive it only 90 miles an hour, and the speed limit, you find out that there are a lot of roads where the speed limit's only 45 or 50, and you're not going to drive it anymore because you can only go 90. It's like stuck when you get in the car, it automatically the computer goes to 90. Doesn't make any sense to me. You have to be a little more creative than that. You have to be able to modify what you do. You have to be mature enough instead of being like a spoiled, overgrown child. You have to be mature enough to say, okay, well, the guidelines have changed, but somehow we can fumble our way along and continue doing what we're doing. See, that's another one. I have no problem. Howard Stern has accomplished tremendous things in broadcasting, but long before there was a Howard Stern on the air, there were lots of other great broadcasters, and long after they stick his ass in a box in the ground somewhere, there's going to be a lot of other great broadcasters, too. Not as many, though, because of the changing nature of the business, unfortunately. Which it really doesn't have so much to do with the FCC. It has to do with the fact that 10 companies own every radio station in America, so there's no more creativity. Stations aren't willing to take a chance. They recycle the same old crap, which is probably what we're going to do by sticking Defo on there. But nevertheless, I hope you and Howard have a great life together. And come on up here to Ontario, maybe get married this weekend, eh? 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
You know, back before Howard came on, when you weren't supposed to say anything, did you honestly think this was going to work out?
In the very beginning, yeah. In the beginning.
You did.
But that was before we... Wait a minute. That was before we knew he was going to go to Sirius and abandon the ship. And in addition to which, we also weren't aware of the fact that there were days he was going to go on till like 11:15 and 10 after 11, and that our audience... See, there was no thought given to any of this. And
no, I know that, but...
Wait a minute. Can I answer the question?
Sure.
We weren't aware of the fact that the audience would be having a fit because they never knew what time the show would start. There was no discussion about that. There was no thought given to that when they just went ahead and slapped him on the air.
No, I know, but my point was not saying when he was going to end or anything like that. My point was, do you think that QAM was going to keep him? Let's just say he didn't even go to Sirius. I don't think he would have. I think this was just a change, just to make a change, and just like Hank coming on in the morning.
No, absolutely wrong. Totally.
I think there's no chance Hank is here next year at the same time slot. I don't think there's any chance.
Based on our track record, that's probably true. We've had about 50 different morning shows in the last 2.5 years.
I mean, it's ridiculous, and to take Hank away from his afternoon show, he's cranky at 4 o'clock. Imagine what he's going to be at 7. Hey, stupid. See ya.
Okay, that's a good point. That'll probably spice the show up a little bit. He'll be madder than a wet hen getting up 5:30 in the morning. Like I said, keep the food away from him, please, please. And don't be putting him on that Howie's list, okay?
Too late.
He's on there?
He's got the right column.
Bad idea. 21 till noon at 560 WQAM. We're here because we got nowhere else to go, like stepchildren, and we'll do the best we can. We'll fumble our way along. And like I said, who else is going to be on those channels of his? Who's going to be on there with him?
Shy.
No, I'm not talking about Hank. I'm talking about Howard.
Oh.
Wrong Howard. Let's take a look at the poll. Looks pretty grim and slim. Goes to show how much influence I have. Who should do 2 to 4 on QM? Jeff DeForest, 59. Let that corn grow high and tall. Barbecue it, man. It's good. Wrap it in tinfoil. Put it in the barbecue. Man, it's dynamite. Smear some butter. Curtis Stevenson, 38. Mo Howard David at 29. Kimba Bocamper, 21. The Big... 20. God forbid. Warren the Crow Cromarty's got a dozen. That shows you how desperate we are. Geldy, 11. Joe Zagacki, 7. Troy Stratford's got 1. I'm sure Troy voted. And Lenny Martez so far has got... Hey, they just don't understand that he's really come along, like you were saying. Maybe next year. Maybe next year Lenny can do mornings. 20 till noon at 560 WQAM. It's time to talk about Acceptance Capital Mortgage and everyone's main man, Anthony Caliendo. Whether you're buying a new house or refinancing, looking to get cash out, or just paying down your debt, Acceptance Capital Mortgage will show you the way to get it done. Acceptance Capital specializes in just about any situation that can come along. They'll get it done when others can't. 100% financing, option arms, new construction loans, investor and commercial properties. Check out Acceptance Capital's stress-free mortgage payment program, which lets you pick from 4 payment coupons based on your particular financial situation for that month. With a pick-a-pay program, no income verification is even necessary. And your credit score doesn't determine your approval like all other programs, because at Acceptance Capital Mortgage they realize that sometimes bad things happen to good people. In most cases, you can pull out cash, pay off all your debts, and still pay less for your mortgage payment every month. Call Anthony Caliendo at Acceptance Capital Mortgage today and find out why he's everyone's main man. That's Acceptance Capital Mortgage. Call him today. If you need some cash, toll-free, it's 1-888-483-LOAN. 1-888-483-LOAN.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Rogers got.
Robert, you've been in jail now for almost a year.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Everything's cool.
Was your relationship before Bonnie's death a friendly relationship?
Nope.
Were you ever violent?
Sure.
Yes?
Barbara, Bonnie never had a chance.
And that night, the night of her death?
The trip to Vitello's is all dark.
Yeah.
It's all quiet. And right then and there, I said, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
You did kill Bonnie.
Yeah, and it was nice having that gun. It really was.
When 2020 returns.
Robert, you are 30.
Where have you been for 2 years? There's forensic evidence. I'm the murderer.
Next.
Now, leave him alone. The bitch had it coming. I agree with you on that now. She really had it coming.
She was warned, you know. Christian warned her.
I know that. Christian Brando.
Right.
He's a good Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Norma Kent emails me. I saw the thing in the Herald, Norma, and so did everybody else. Okay, the People section. Nice job. Got us some publicity,
nice.
Which is more than the station ever does, so nice job. Also, it says, released on Inside Radio, Radio and Records, and FMQB. Saw it. Been there, done that. When I wasn't busy tricking with baby boy Brian, Norma says I got something done. Yeah, you got somebody done all right. See, one thing about Norma's tricks, they're all of legal age, they're all runaways, they're all cute but dumb as the dirt. Ellie Brecker said to say hello to you, wishes you the best, have a good day, says Norma Kent. Nice going, Norma. At any rate, 5670560. Here's an open letter from Michael Moore to the U.S. Senate. In fact, he says, just one senator, please. Remember the movie?
Right.
The Senate, that embarrassing episode?
Yep.
In fact, there's another very long article that's on our website, which there's no way I'm going to try to read it. It's way too long. And it's called by Robert Perry. It says, on January 6th, will John Kerry report for duty? And the essence is, meaning tomorrow, that's the big day. Tomorrow will Kerry join John Conyers, Maxine Waters, other members of the House in supporting their expected motion for a full-scale investigation of election 2004, particularly the widespread allegations of voting fraud in Ohio. Or will he pull an Al Gore and just sit there like a statue, which Al Gore does best anyway? And he does a pretty good job of that too, Kerry, standing there like the statue. At any rate, Michael Moore writes, Dear members of the U.S. Senate, welcome back. The 109th session of Congress has just begun. I'm watching you on C-SPAN right now, and you all look so snap-happy and clean-faced. It's like the first day of school all over again, isn't it? I have a favor to ask of you. Something isn't right with the vote from Ohio. Seems a lot of people didn't get to vote, and those who did, thousands of theirs weren't counted. Does that seem right to you? I'm just asking. Forget about partisan politics for a moment. Ask yourself if there's a more basic right in a democracy than the right of the people to vote and have all their votes counted. Now, I know a lot of you wish this little problem of Ohio would just go away. And many of you who wish this are Democrats. You just want to move on, no pun intended. I can't say I blame you. It's rough to lose 2 elections in a row when the first one you actually won and the second one you should have won. And it seems this time around about 3 million more Americans prefer to continue the war in Iraq and give the rich more tax breaks than those who didn't. No sense in living in denial about that. But something isn't right in Ohio, and more than a dozen members of the House of Representatives believe it's worth investigating. So on Thursday, tomorrow at 1 p.m., Representative John Conyers of Detroit will rise and object to the vote count in Ohio. According to the laws of this land, he'll be allowed to speak unless at least one of you, one member of the U.S. Senate, agrees to let him have the floor. If not, he won't be allowed to speak. A very embarrassing moment during the last session of Congress occurred in the first week when none of you would allow members of Congress who were black to have the floor to object to the Florida vote count. Remember that? You thought no one would ever notice, didn't you? You certainly lucked out that night when the networks decided not to show how you shut down every single member of the Congressional Black Caucus. No such luck this year. Everyone now knows about that moment of shame. Thank you. You're welcome. But this Thursday at 1 p.m., you'll have a chance to redeem yourself. Congressman Conyers and a dozen other members of Congress have some serious questions about how Republican Secretary of State in Ohio, who also happened to be the state's co-chair of Bush's re-election campaign, conducted the election on November 2nd. The list of possible offenses of how voters were denied access to the polls and how over 100,000 of their votes have yet to be counted is more than worthy of your consideration. It may not change the outcome, but you have a supreme responsibility to make sure that every vote is counted. Who amongst you would disagree with that? If you'd like to read more about the specific charges, I ask you to read these 2 links, and they're in the story. Senators should object to Ohio vote by Jesse Jackson, and 10 preliminary reasons why the Bush vote does not compute, and why Congress must investigate rather than certify the Electoral College. I'm asking everyone on my mailing list to send you a letter joining me in this call to do your job and investigate what happened before you certify the vote. It only takes one member of the House and one member of the Senate to stop the acceptance of the Electoral College and force a legitimate debate and investigation. Do you know why this provision is set in stone in our nation's laws? I mean, why would we allow just 2 officials in the body of 535 members to throw a wrench into the works? The law exists because there's nothing more sacred than the integrity of the ballot box, and if there's any possibility of fraud or incompetence, then it must be addressed, because if we don't have the vote, what are we left with? Come on, Senators, especially you Democrats. Here's your one shining moment of courage. Will you allow the gavel to come down on our black members of Congress once again, or will you stand up for their right to object? We'll all be watching. Yours, Michael Moore. Who says this week he'll be on the Today Show tomorrow morning, Jay Leno Friday night, and the People's Choice Awards this Sunday night, live on CBS at 9 p.m. for Fahrenheit 9/11. I think, Josh, we need to get that story. I sent it to you for like tomorrow, but we need to get that on there today on the site. Michael Moore.
Okay.
Can we handle that?
I can handle it.
Yeah, the headline's Michael Moore just won Senator an open letter to the U.S. Senate. I think Josh can handle it, and the story, too. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines here at WQAM, where the shuffle never ends, man. It's like having a deck of cards that never stop shuffling. It's kind of hard to play blackjack when the dealer never stops shuffling it, you know? Who should keep shuffling the deck? Who should do... Speaking of that, how's Todd Dreck doing? I see we got a spot back on here. Nice going, Todd, baby. You're doing it, sweetheart. Who should do 2 to 4 on QM is our poll question. 236 votes. See, not the tremendous response we had yesterday.
No, it ought to be. This is like
no. But you see that, which means they're not that enthused. Like when you have an election and almost nobody shows up.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, they're not that whipped up about. These aren't what you call great choices. With all due respect to the people listed on this, this is not. These are not some of the great Hall of Fame broadcast nominees. Jeff DeForest, 73. Curtis Stevenson, who one day might be, we hope, 41. Mo Howard David at 37, who he had his chance, like Saluzzo, you know? He had his chance. Now he's the 100 one. Everybody wants to take home their own Chiamo. Kim Bokemper, 26. The big...
rock solid.
O, 21. Warren the Crow rhymes with the big O, 16. Geldy's only got a dozen. They hate you, Geldy. Joe Zagacki, 8. Lenny Martez has got 1, and Troy Stratford 1. That's all I got. I have nobody else to put on there that I can think of. Who's available, who's belongs on the air. And, of course, some of those on that list, right, quite frankly, don't. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I haven't been listening to the past couple of days right here that they're taking Howard Stern off on Monday. What was the reason behind that?
That you'd have to ask the Beasleys why they're doing that. I think the fact that he's flying the coop to Sirius and has been promoting the hell out of that, that's a big part of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to bother you. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. 5670560. I think there are a multitude of reasons, but it's not for me to say. There's another Johnny Mattress song there for you, The 12th of Never. It's not for me to say. Had a call from our good friend Joe Costello last night, who's still doing his NASCAR show for XM out of Washington, D.C.
Well, good.
He said now he's single and plenty of time to mingle. He said he's doing just fine. I guess we're not supposed to talk about that on here, huh?
I guess not.
Well, why not?
He didn't want it, but, that doesn't mean that you can't.
What?
Talk about it.
Well, we won't then.
All right.
I mean, that's a personal thing. We don't want to talk about a guy getting divorced. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, Pally.
Good. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
This is a blast from the past. This is
Yeah,
Bobby.
no, it's an idiot. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Bring Dave Hagen back, 9 to 5.
Whatever happened to Dave Hagen?
He went to New York or something.
Dave Hagen went to New York, sir. Right. And Dave Hagen is pretty good on New York. He's a good guy. Yeah. Yeah, he went to New York. Maybe Curtis Stevenson will go to New York if they... In fact, Curtis, that's the way to do it. If they don't put you on 2 to 4, threaten you're going to go to New York, even if you don't have a gig going. Just make threats. Say, I'm leaving. I'm going to New York. I'm going to go up there with Dave Hagen. Dave was good. Good guy, too.
Yes, he was.
And he was Jewish, which I didn't know that.
Why didn't you?
In fact, you were telling me he was very Jewish. Weren't you telling me that?
You're right.
I never looked.
Medium Jewish.
I never looked, but I guess you might have. WQAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. Can I just say I love George, and I think he could replace Howard Stern.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that before you hung up on me.
Why would I hang up on you?
because it's easier to reach the Pope. I tried you all day yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were screening me out. But I have some
Why
really...
would I? How can I screen you out? What does that mean? We're doing screenless. How can we? If we're not screening the calls, how do we screen you out?
Oh, because I call you all the time.
Oh, in
I
that
thought
case.
maybe-
5670560 pound 5. Well, no, she wanted me to hang up on her, and she wanted me to do it, but just after she had time to say she wants you on in the morning. And what else did she say? Whatever it was mighty forgettable. In other words, you're chronic. That's okay. We're desperate for lady callers anyway, so once in a while. Actually, that's 3 for 3 this week. Let's hear it. We're off to a great start in the new year. 3 days, and we've had at least one lady caller in all 3 shows. That is what?
Nice quota. Pretty ambitious.
Well, there have been times in the past year when we've gone weeks without a woman caller.
Sure.
I still think the screenless factor is it. There are a lot more lifeless guys out there. Plus 95% of the audience is male anyway. It's a sports station. Don't you understand it? Women don't want to listen to this crap. Women don't want to listen to this garbage, this swill, this potty mouth, foul mouth crap that's on the air all the time. Women are like dignified. They don't even fart. Well, except maybe at the supermarket. Oh,
and in the elevator.
I don't want to go into it, but man, when women cut the cheese, there is nothing quite like it. I just don't know what that's all about. I mean, a guy,
it's a good thing they don't.
In fact, I was thinking, remember the other day we were talking about farting in the shower?
Sure.
I was thinking farts in a can. You want to make some serious bucks. A novelty item.
They had to have had that.
And you take it into the shower with you and you like give it a spritz and man, you just, huh?
Yeah, but then it's somebody
You get
else's.
the shower nice, hot, and steamy. You get that steam going in there, and you just give it a little spritz here and there. We could make the sound back in the day, but we can't do it anymore. Oh, gee, I better go to Sirius Radio. I can't make fart sound. See, that guy that called before, that to me is such a cop-out, you know? He can't do the same thing he's been doing for 20 years. Well, if you're a one-trick pony, if that's all you can do, fine. You know, he's doing a good job of it, making millions and millions
They
doing
offered him money. He's going where the money is. He's cashing out.
There you go.
That's
he's
all.
cashing out the deal. And
nothing to do
too
with
bad they're not
formats
giving him
or
that
what he
ticker.
can say.
Are we having a ticker tape parade this weekend to say goodbye to Howard?
I'm having a ticker.
Because he'll be very wounded if we don't do that. I mean, that to me, just... Yeah, I'm screwing all of you. I'm like stabbing you in the back. I'm promoting your direct competition. In the meantime, how come you're not giving me a big farewell tour? How come you're not kissing my ass? Boy. WQAM, hello. QAM. Line 8, which for some reason I almost never punch up. Maybe now we understand the reason. It would be a shame if they weren't there. One last chance. QAM. Going once. Going twice. WQAM, hello. What is it?
It's Ron.
I know it's Ron, but speak up, Ron, so we can understand what you're doing. What time's your show
George
on,
and
Ron? Okay. Oh. I sure think it'd be more entertaining than Defoe, but what do I know? Defoe's going to get it. I think that's a done deal. That makes me very sad. We will promote a show, though. We'll say is on from 2 to 4. I mean, after promoting Mad Dog being on there from 2 to 4, everybody loves like crazy, and then have an old Kornmeister on there. But, you know, maybe he'll be good. Maybe he'll be fine, you think?
He'll be fine.
No, I don't think. He'll be all right. No, maybe without Joe and Geldy there, without the little dog. At least somebody knows who he is. Maybe he'll do like 5 and 6 years in there. What do you think?
No.
Huh? I think he's going to be great. The Jeff DeForest Show starts Monday, 2 to 4 on QAM. All right. I think Curtis is going to be with Hank in the morning. See, I wasn't aware. When did Dave Hagen leave?
3 months ago, at least.
See, I'm out of
Maybe
touch.
more.
Like Tom Jickers says, I'm out of touch with what's going on. So I wasn't aware of that. Between 2Js and Dave Hagen leaving. You're going to have to fill me in. And, of course, the puppy place. I think you ought to go by the puppy place, stand there and look in the window.
No, it's depressing.
Why is that?
Those are puppy mill puppies. You're looking at the survivors.
You know something? My dogs were puppy mill puppies. I bought them at a place in Tamarack.
That has nothing to do with.
They were
like,
great dogs.
the
Are you knocking my dogs now that they can't bark back?
The percentage that die. Your dog
Yeah.
was great, and he probably had like half the litter died in transit. And
Now, which dog are you talking about?
That's what puppy mills. That's what happens in puppy mills. The ones that make it to the store, they're the lucky puppies. The ones that didn't have any
The lucky
defects,
puppies?
right? The ones that weren't eaten by other puppies or other dogs, and it's brutal.
11:57. Eaten by other puppies.
Oh, I'm making that part up.
That's beautiful. 3 minutes till noon at 560 WQM. Did you earn less than $50,000 last year, Josh?
I did.
Oh, that's sad. No wonder he can't afford his own HD set. If your answer is yes, then it's time for a career change. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Fast Train can have you trained and ready for a brand new high-paying career in as little as 4 short months. Count them. You can practically count the days on your fingers. Fast Train offers high-demand, high-pay career training. If you like computers, never thought of becoming a computer network professional, call Fast Train today, toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. The demand for computer professionals is at an all-time high right now, and Fast Train can have you trained and ready for that new career in just, like I said, as little as 4 months. And no matter where you live, they got a convenient location close by you because Fast Train's got locations in Kendall, Miami, Pembroke Pines, and Fort Lauderdale. Fast Train offers job placement and financial aid for those who qualify. Day, evening, and weekend classes are forming right now, so what's not to like? If you want to really change your life and start putting some cash in your pocket, call Fast Train toll-free today at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Hola, this is Jennifer Lopez. I have to take my hormones every day to keep the hair from growing back around my nipples. And that's when I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. They were to rock and roll what Starbucks is to coffee. They were the Alan Parsons Project.
Well, I like to make my music very dramatic and exciting.
So sleep-inducingly dull is Alan Parsons that to this day he must travel with his manager, Slappy Gold.
Alan Parsons was the guy who earned me my nickname, Slappy.
You know, when we wrote Eye in the Sky, it was a thing where...
Wake it up, Alan! I'm sorry.
Anyway, as I was saying, it's all about the music.
Damn it, Al! Give it something!
Sure, Slappy, right. Now then, what I wanted to say was...
The Alan Parsons Project. Every generation needs its own really crappy band. How else can you explain Maroon 5? It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business tonight on Inside the Behind.
See, I play that even though I love Alan Parsons Project. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. Top 5, Eye in the Sky, Eye on Your Fly. I'm telling you, you don't like that?
I like that. I like Alan Parsons Project. I've,
but it's cute. That was amusing. 12:02 at 560 WQAM. We don't let our own prejudices interfere with the comedy on the show, okay? That fresh new comedy that Joey's always talking about but never delivers. Here's a fax from somebody who's a little amusing, I guess. Stop encouraging Hank and Mad Dog to rape the station with new contracts for more money. Who the hell do you think will end up paying for lining the pockets of rich people like you, Hank and Mad Dog, the advertisers of these shows? The advertisers will have to pay more for commercials. Henceforth, they'll have to charge their customers more to pay for these increases. We consumers are struggling already as it is, and then it says, "Hole." How do you like that? It says
Yeah. So stop.
Okay. Like I said, dollar a holler, all right? Whatever you say. No, don't sign those deals. Like Mad Dog says, a deal isn't a deal until it's a deal. And make sure that corporate knows about it if you sign a contract, okay? Because I hear that, yeah, that's always a good idea. Make sure that the corporation knows that this because that squiggle may have used it before the year change, may have been worth something in the past. Ain't worth too much anymore, okay? They like to have some idea of what's going on, since they're the ones who are paying the money. I just mentioned that in passing, Greg. Here's the, if I ever told that whole story, man, I think that I can't do it. Even I, as much contempt as I have for what I've been put through the last couple of weeks, even I just don't have the heartless feeling to do that. To anybody, even him.
Don't tell Neil, it's really embarrassing.
Okay, Water Nazi, he won't tell me. Who should do 2 to 4 on WQAM starting that? Now, see, it's Wednesday already. Wouldn't you think we'd have some our ducks in a row? Somebody in place? Yeah, how about Daffy Duck? Okay. Wouldn't you think? I'm sure that when we're good and ready, we'll put out a press release and we'll announce that Jeff DeForest, he's already been hired about a half a dozen times in the last 2 years. He's been hired back. We don't have anything personal against Defoe other than he's a backstabber and a
killer.
But other than that, he's okay. He never stole a freight train, I don't think. Paranoid, insecure. I got a good idea. He's not doing anything right now. How about the Rim Man, Jeff Rimmer? Fly him in from Columbus, or he could probably do the show right from his house like I do. He could do the show from Columbus, Ohio. What do you say? The Rim Man, do those scintillating hockey shows.
Well, that's right.
Football season, college football's over now. We had the national championship game last night. USC kicked some serious bloody ass. Oh, sorry, OJ. Thank goodness that Josh was there to see that. That is so great.
Oh, it was perfect.
What did the guy say again? He's got a knife?
He's got a knife.
Here's O.J. signing autographs to all these sucklings, all these simpletons that have no self-respect. They don't really care. Oh, he's famous. He was a great player. Yeah, he's a murderer, but we don't care.
Yeah, I'm walking by. People are walking by, and they're like, "Oh, that was O.J." They start taking out their cameras. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't
Isn't that pathetic? Isn't that sad? And you wonder why people like Ted Bundy were getting like marriage proposals in the mail.
Right.
The bigger the slime bucket, the more a certain group of misfits gravitate toward them. And of course, in OJ's case, Screw Ann, is she still around?
No.
What about
Roy!
Is he still around?
No.
The only one left, I think, from that. Well, of course, you got Greg and the Water Nazis. They're also obsessed. And probably Matty Bell is a big OJ licker, I would think, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I would think so. Well, next time you have lunch with Matty, find out.
Yeah,
Bring up OJ's name. Or maybe a lunch with Matty and Fat Boy would be good. Who should do 2 to 4 on QAM? Jeff DeForest, 82 out of 274 votes. Curtis Stevenson, 48. Mo Howard David at 40. Mo's starting to make a little bit of a move. Can you smell it?
He's inching up there.
The Chia Mo is starting to sprout. Kim Bocamper, 29. The Big...
Rock Solid.
Oh! 24. Warren the Crow, 20. Yoli, 16. Joe Zagacki's got 10. Probably all from the Beast. And maybe Clarence. See, Joe doesn't belong on the air. I know that breaks Hank's heart because they're good buddies for me to say that. But Joe's a good guy. Doesn't belong on the air. He's got a voice of like the mask of death. I mean, it's just as bland as vanilla ice cream. The only difference being a lot of people like vanilla ice cream. Nobody likes Joe on the air. Lenny Martez, 3. And Troy Stratford's got a pair.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Not like,
Roy!
but nevertheless, that's what Scran said before they fired her ass. Isn't that interesting? I was thinking about this in the shower this morning. Hank got suspended for bitching out Scran that time. That was his second to last suspension. That was before the Jeffrey Luria suspension. He got suspended for bitching out Scran too much in the parking lot and calling her exactly what she is. And then the bizarre part of that whole deal is she gets canned not that long afterward. So maybe that's why Hank gets promoted to the morning show now, because maybe he had his thumb on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He knew where the bodies were buried.
That was funny.
Here's a fax from Jay, who says, "Love the show." Well, thanks, Jay. We love you. I'm a really big fan of talk radio, including Stern, your show, and sports radio. However, the list of potential replacements for Mandy Slot is embarrassing. And you know what, Jay? You are
absolutely correct, sir.
Pretty weak. Curtis is the only potential candidate. However, he's extremely raw. Well, I don't know about that. I didn't get into his personal life. The Big No is awful. Josie sucks okay, and the rest are not even worth a comment. In other words, Mo, ain't worth a comment anymore. Boy, you've fallen from the good graces, Mo. Back in the day when he was doing mornings, I mean, all you had to do was mention his name, and immediately the lines would all light up, and they were like, foaming at the mouth, and like.
I'm listening.
Good. Hope you're enjoying your paid vacation, Mo. I always enjoyed those deals. These so-called broadcasters make Greg Reed look like a first-class general manager. That may be a stretch, however. All this talk is irrelevant because none of this really matters, because QM will be changing its lineup again in another few months. Oh,
right.
Man.
Like the Buddha
He must work at the station. They like to keep their listeners confused and befuddled, much like I'm confused and befuddled that Greg Reed maintains employment. Well, you sure got a lot of company on that deal. You say naked pictures, I say naked videotapes. Jay says, my suggestions, hire a headhunter service, get a professional in there. 2, play Best of Neil. No, boy, no more of that. 3, transmitter maintenance. 4, they could hear that Spanish language music in the back when we turn the transmitter off.
Right.
Right?
Well, hey, why don't we sell
probably
spots
get a big
on that?
number. Probably get all your people tuning in.
We could just pipe that up and sell spots on it.
And 4, Warren the Crow Cromartie. He's an inadvertent comic mastermind. He's on the list, by the way, Jay. He's not doing too well. But there you go. Have a great life, Jay. Leave me alone. Rick faxes and says, the only senator who had the balls to contest the vote died in the plane crash, Paul Wellstone, which no one can get to the records to investigate, says Rick. Well, there you go again with those conspiracy theories, Rick, and even though you're probably right, the timing of that was sure suspicious. Who are we to say, you know? Only the Lord knows for sure. Just like that tsunami, man. We don't really know the reasons because the Lord worked. Somebody actually did say that. Oh, you know who it was?
Who?
A couple of nights ago, your close personal friend, loaned me $80, was on there, and he had as his guests President Bush 41 and Clinton 42, George Herbert Walker Bush, and Bubba. And I told you a little bit about this. And we got to that part where Larry was asking him about, does it shake their faith and their religion and belief in God? And a lot of people are wondering, where was God when this was going on, just like 9/11? And they both gave the most supercilious, outrageous, but very expected, cookie-cutter answers to that question, tiptoeing around it like you'd expect, because it's not politically correct to attack religion or God or question any of these things. And so as a result, I was humiliated, degraded, and embarrassed for both of them, especially Clinton, who that's why you won't see Jesse Ventura around much anymore.
Right.
Remember, he was like peaking in popularity, and then MSNBC decided he was a talk show host, which he wasn't. He was on, I think, for 1 or 2 shows, and then he went bye-bye real quick. But as soon as he made that comment, or they got the comment out of the interview, I guess it was, where he was attacking religion and organized religion, rightfully so, telling it exactly the way it is, and he got involved in those debates. Remember that?
Right.
And again, he was doing the tap dance and bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bout and all this, and that was the end of the Jesse. Back into the ring, making the big bucks. You can't be a successful politician or a successful much of anything in America and not be part of the God Squad, especially nowadays. Man, you better be a Jesus Christer big time. You better either that or you better have your payas and your tzitzis and your yarmulke all sewn on real tight, especially the tzitzis. Remember that day?
Yeah.
When your accountant came in, your former Orthodox Jew accountant came in and wrapped those tefillin around your... You talk about a man that looked like... You know what you looked like that day? You looked like Luca Brasi when they garroted him in The Godfather. Remember that?
Well, God likes it when you're in pain for him.
Yeah. In fact, I was wondering about that. How did they do that? I was thinking about that scene last night. You know the scene that I'm talking where he was in the bar pretending he was going to go over and join Saluzzo Tattaglia?
Right.
And Bruno Tattaglia is behind the bar, and then Saluzzo comes up and they stabs Luca's hand.
Right.
Down on the bar to keep him, and then they garrot him from behind. They leaf garrot him. And his face gets all purple, and his eyes look like they're going to look like Barbara Bush, like they were going to pop out of his head. How do they do that?
Well, they call it acting.
No, but
I bet they choked him a little bit just for...
To make his face beet red like that, to make it purple?
There are people that do it for fun every day.
I've heard that when you choke it tight enough, you can make it purple.
You just heard?
12 minutes past noon, that's the rumor around town. 12 minutes past noon at 560 WQAM. If you decided to start the new year off right and trim down with the Atkins, South Beach, Sugar Busters, or any low-carb, sugar-free diet, then head for Delights of West Boca. Even TV's biggest losers are following a low-carb diet, and their weight loss is incredible. For years, Delights has helped thousands of low-carb dieters achieve their weight loss goals. Delights of West Boca is your low-carb, one-stop shop for the right supplements and best selection, and, of course, most important, the best-tasting low-carb foods. Stop in and sample any of their over 1,200 low-carb products like the brand-new chocolate-dipped cheesecake on a stick and their famous Carbolite soft-serve ice cream. They have a staff that knows low-carb dieting inside and out, and they're open every day till 10 p.m. And don't forget their guaranteed lowest price policy on all Atkins, Carbolite, and Pure Delight products, too. Delights of West Boca guarantees you the Matty Bell's life on it. They will not be undersold. Delights is located on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market, or call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, that's with a W, or on the web at lowcarb.com, also with a W. That's Delights of West Boca, your official Atkins retail center.
You're listening to Neil Rogers, exclusively QAM.
Rogers. My name Jose Jimenez, and I am your new Attorney General. I am here to love you. For the benefit of those who do not yet know why I was chosen to be Attorney General, well, you know those 9/11 investigation reports that had all references to Saudis redacted? That was me. I went through 7 Sharpies. Now, much has been said about my torture memos to the President, Patterson Bushka, because I think torture is okie-dokie. Now that Saddam is in custody, we have better rape rooms than he did, very much like the freshly appointed Saudi royals' rape rooms. Torture is a good thing. I have asked our fearless leader for even more rape rooms. They're nice to have for the kids to blow off steam. Luckily for me, I regard the Geneva Convention as silly and quaint. So, let's go back to using impairment. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 12:16 at 568. He's a real winner, the torturer. He makes John Ashcroft seem like a Boy Scout. Oh, and yesterday, Drew Lieberman was on there before the show, remember, on CNN saying, just a handful of insurgents who are, the Iraqi people. Well, guess what? That handful is over 200,000, which is more than the number of soldiers we have there. Iraq's insurgency counts at more than 200,000 active fighters and sympathizers, the country's national intelligence chief told AFP, in the bleakest assessment to date of the armed revolt waged by Sunni Muslims. I think the resistance is bigger than the U.S. military in Iraq. I think the resistance is more than 200,000 people. Iraqi Intelligence Service Director General Mohammed Abdullah Shanwani said, interview ahead of the January 30th elections. Shanwani said the number includes at least 40,000 hardcore fighters, but rises to more than 200,000 members counting part-time fighters and volunteers who provide rebels everything from intelligence and logistics to shelter. Yeah, I'm a part-time fighter. The numbers far exceed any figure presented by the U.S. military in Iraq, who lie a lot, which has struggled to get a handle on the size of the resistance since toppling Saddam Hussein's regime, A senior U.S. military official declined to endorse or dismiss these fire chiefs' numbers. In other words, when they won't dismiss it, when they won't deny it, you know they're full of crap, right?
Right.
Let's see, here's a fax from Bill in Fort Lauderdale. For the 2 to 4 slot, I think it should be a group effort consisting of Howard David, Warren Cromartie, Troy Stratford, and Screw Ann. It would be called... This is the best! Mm-hmm. It would be called the Mole, Crow, Schvo, and Ho Show.
The show would be good.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Nice going, Bill. Happy New Year to you, sweetheart. 5670. Yeah, it would be nice to know. I guess Friday they'll probably wait. You know, they're getting Barry's column on Friday in the Herald.
Maybe it'll just be a surprise.
That pudgy-faced Jim Sarney, he'll write it up in the Sun Sentinel. No, not. Yeah, that would be good. Tune in and find out. That would be a great idea.
The TBA show.
In this place, they could never keep it quiet long enough. Now, I will say this, because there were rumblings that some powers that be weren't real happy about Jicka's column yesterday, because this was supposed to be kept quiet a little bit longer. But it seemed, now, correct me if I'm wrong, and in fact, I got the article still right here somewhere. Wait a minute. It seems to me that Tom quoted 2 different QM people in that article. Here it is. Goldberg takes over Stern's slot. Yeah, because he quotes Hank in here. I mean, if you're worrying about who the mole is, where this article came from, then he quotes...
Greg.
Yeah, because it says QM General Manager Greg Reed declined to comment on the potential changes. Conversations are taking place, he said, but nothing has been finalized. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So it would indicate that not only did maybe the humper... I don't know who spilled the beans. But every time Greg runs around looking for the mole, it turns out to be...
Greg.
Yeah, look in the mirror. He's at least partly mole. Kind of like Enrique was before he had it chopped off. Didn't he have it chopped off?
I don't know.
How about the mole? 567. By the way, in case you missed it, Anna Cornajolia did not marry Enrique Iglesias. We got sucked in on that deal, and that's her hobby. She goes around making up all these phony romances with... let's see, who was it first? Sergei Fedorov, and then it was Pavel Bure, and Enrique Iglesias. She claimed, and she just makes it up. You know, which is fine because the media buys into most of these deals anyway, like the J-Lo, all her fag phony marriages, you know, all these famous queens. WQAM, hello.
Neil, how's it hanging?
Okay, Pally.
All right. I didn't even expect you to pick up, so I forgot I was going to talk about it, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, see Oh, God. I appreciate it, too, that you got right to the point, being that you had nothing to say. That's good. That was a good call. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil, how are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Yeah, I think that by the time Hank wipes the sleep out of his eyes and clears his throat, his show's going to be over in the morning, man. He's not a morning person.
Yeah, well, we'll find out Monday.
Yeah, okay.
We'll find out Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, okay, Pally, good luck to us. Well, we'll see. You know, who knows if he's a morning guy or not. I don't think Hank has ever done mornings before, but that doesn't mean, you know,
right.
Hank's
Maybe
got
he
his
just
following.
Stay up all night and, you know.
No.
And crash afterwards.
You know who used to do that? Carl DeSouza on WBZ in Boston, who was there for about 80 years.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Well, he was there for about 80 years.
Well.
And every morning he would start a show by saying, he had this British affected accent, you know, he like real stuffy. Back in the day when they had those, you know, like J.P. McCarthy in Detroit, you know, personalities, some of whom really weren't all that good, but they were just like legendary. Oops. But Carl DeSouza would say, I bring you greetings from all kinds of places. And in other words, he was stoned off his ass, and he'd been out boozing it up all night and whatever, you know. And he would just go right into the studio. Those are the days, baby. You can't live in the past. Dave Maynard, Jefferson K., Bruce Bradley, Jay Dunn, Larry Glick, Carl DeSouza. Every major market had a big 50,000-watt powerhouse with real personalities on it, like in Pittsburgh, KDKA, and WLS in Chicago when Larry Lujak was there. What's happened to this business, man? It's been destroyed. Haven't I been saying that for years now? They've just broken it. They've butchered it. Clear Channel, Cox Broadcasting, all these cookie-cutter companies that just want to open up a pot and broadcast the same garbage on 800 stations at the same time. They've destroyed it. That's why there's so little talent around now. That's why it's so hard to find somebody to stick in there 2 to 4, because who the hell is there? Just like I'm saying about Stern Howard, who are you going to put on your 3 Sirius stations? Get serious. Who you got? Lynn Samuels? She's already on there. I'm serious. That should give you a real insight as to how desperate things are. Or maybe they'll put Miss Fudge on there. That would be good. That self-hating queen. WQAM, hello.
Happy New Year.
And back to you.
Nalgas.
Yeah, and back to you, too. WQAM, hello.
Why'd you take the BitTorrent stuff off the site?
The what?
We were able to download your files on there. It was file sharing. BitTorrent. George must have taken it off.
I didn't take it off. Why are you blaming me? Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to use it. Nobody knew how to use it. So
the RIAA is trying to fire shots at them right now. I'll send you over the article.
What is he talking about?
BitTorrent. Don't worry about it.
Well, what is that?
It's a file sharing system that we had on the site briefly so that people could see the videos and so that we could share bandwidth and everything, but nobody knew how to use it. Everyone was complaining, so Eric took it down.
Right. Yeah, mind your own business, pal. Get your own website, putz. Oh, and by the way, I got a great, I got a whole bunch of stuff here that I'm never going to get to because I'm getting too engrossed in these great calls like that one. Hey, why'd you take that thing over that bit thing? Get a life, loser.
I have no life.
Blog reading explodes in America. Americans are becoming avid blog readers, with 32 million getting hooked in 2004, according to new research. The survey conducted by the Pew Internet and American Life Project showed that blog readership has shot up by 58% in the last year. 58% of Americans are shooting up. Some of this growth is attributable to political blogs written and read during the U.S. presidential campaign. No Schmidt. Despite the explosive growth, more than 60% of online Americans still have never heard of blogs, the survey found. Our survey said. Blogs or weblogs are online spaces in which people can publish their thoughts, opinions, or spread news events in their own words. Companies such as Google and Microsoft provide users with the tools to publish their own blogs. The rise of blogs has spawned a new desire for immediate news and information, with 6 million Americans now using RSS aggregators. What? RSS aggregators are downloaded to PCs and are programmed to subscribe to feeds from blogs, news sites, and other websites. What are RSS aggregators?
It's, for example, the way that I can get the stories on my Yahoo page, so we use that as well.
Is that like that feed thing we got on our, what is that thing called?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
RSS?
Eric found it. One moment. Feed Demon.
No, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But we
Get out of here, you don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Well, Eric will tell you. The aggregators automatically compile the latest information published online from blogs and news sites. That's exactly what the feed demon is, schmuck.
Okay.
Reading blogs remain far more popular than writing them, the survey found. Well, writing them takes, first of all, a brain, and number two, it takes some effort. Reading them is like a passive
now you have to
thing.
play the blogger
In fact,
song.
even the best one is having somebody read it to you.
Do you have that up there?
Do I have what?
The blogger song that Boca Brian did, which is hysterical.
Do I have it up here?
Up there, where you are.
The blogger song?
Yeah, that one.
Blog, 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 blog. Yes, I am a blog, 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 blog. Perhaps you may consider me agoraphobic when I go outside, but I can assure you I am a big shot know-it-all when I'm online. This is not chocolate on my shirt that smells like cat spray. It is spillage from a 30-year-old jar of Kubu that I got from eBay. There is nothing quite so refreshing as a refreshed page as I leisurely sit in front of my computer on my big fat ass with my stubby fingers that are incredibly huge, but I can assure you type really fast. Some unmentionable had the audacity to call me a nerd. Why, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Just because I believe the binaries of Binar will develop a subspace time shifter and send the Olsen twins back to primordial Earth to establish the unctuous strats of Bolimia. It is true I have no picture in my profile, but I can assure you I resemble the Silver Surfer. I have a goodly amount of porn. I am not queer. I am just a stitch in the fabric of the blogosphere. Albeit it may seem pathetic that I have glued on my head a Klingon prosthetic, it would please me to get a few more bids on my extremely rare box of quip.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
You think that's hysterical?
I think it's hysterical.
Oh. Only 7% of the 120 million U.S. adults who use the Internet has created a blog or web-based diary. Getting involved is becoming more popular, though, with 12% saying they posted material or comments on other people's blogs. Just under 1 in 10 of the U.S.'s Internet users read political blogs such as the Daily Kos or Instapundit. Daily Kos we used a lot during elections. And they were full of crap when well, maybe they weren't full of crap. They had the right count, the exit polling and everything, and then, of course, the fixed numbers came in. Or Instapundit during the U.S. presidential campaign. Kerry voters were slightly more likely to read them than Bush voters. Some of the Bush voters had people read them to them. Blog creators were more likely to be young, well-educated, net-savvy males with good incomes and college educations, the survey found. This was also true of the average blog reader, although the survey found there was greater than average growth in blog readership among women and those in minority groups. The survey was conducted during November and involved telephone surveys, yada yada, and partridge and pear tree. Yeah, a blog. And, of course, there's some people who have a blog which nobody really cares what they have to say, but it's kind of like an ego thing, you know. Oh, here's what I think. And, of course, in most cases, you're thinking, well, who the hell cares?
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I never vote Democrat. I'm a Sonder Jew. I prefer nasty slaps on the back. I'm a Sonder Jew. I've heard all that liberal leftist album tread, but these lampshades I got look so festive. I ain't escaped. I'm certain the Goyim like me. At least I hope. Long as I agree, they won't fry me or turn me to soap like all those slimy Sonderyids, Pearl and Wolfowitz can melt into. Oh, I am a Sonderyid Jew. I got me a stick of halava. I'm a Sonder Jew. All right. Just for turning in my marmalade and my rabbi too. I get loaves of bread by the dozen for a hick and a schmear. Just for sending some kite to the oven and a couple of queers. I love reading Ann Coulter's books. I'm a Sonder Jew. I'm a two-faced nefarious schnook. I'm a Sonder Jew. They won't shove me in the oven. I'm a good Republican, so why not ride on you? Since I am a Sonderyid Jew.
Oh, my gosh.
12:32 at 560 WQAM, the Mad Dog, 3 days in a row this week. How do you like that? All right, let's hear it for the hard-working dog. 2 to 4 this afternoon, Hank at the Wyndham Crystal Palace in the Bahamas from 4 to 7, plunging his brains out. Hurricane Hotline at 7. Does anybody care about that?
No.
I wouldn't think so now. And then the big at 8, because we got nobody else, and the Eddie K at 10. 355 votes on the poll. Not like yesterday when we did over 1,000 even during the show. That was, well, that's because that was humongous news, right? When you think. But today's poll, and again, the choices on here aren't that outstanding that people are going to go racing to their computers and say, oh, I got to vote on this. I got to get in on it. Who should do 2 to 4 on QM starting on Monday? We're looking for a little programming help because, quite frankly, we haven't got a freaking clue. Jeff DeForest, 102. Defoe, my close personal buddy, the Defoe man, who's got to, of course, have the Pauly man. Maybe we can forget about Defoe with Curtis because the Pauly man would have to be the sidekick, wouldn't it? Isn't he part of his deal everywhere he goes?
I reckon. He'd have to pay him out of his own pocket, though.
Kind of like Mr. Ego and Brian Craig. Oh, I shouldn't talk about Brian Craig, then Norma send me another email. He still says you're pretty lame in the sack, Brian. Jeff DeForest, 102. Curtis Stevenson, 64. Mo Howard David at 46, a rather limp third. Kim Bocamper, 43, right on Mo's ass. Oh, can't you just envision that? The Big O, 37. Warren the Crow Cromartie, 24. Geldy, you only got 19. Geldy, man, you've been on the station 80 years and you only got 19 votes. That's like about a third of a vote a year, or about a fifth. Joe Zagacki, 11. Troy Stratford, 5. And Lenny Martez has got 4. That would be good for some hoots, huh?
Sure.
I think Lenny could probably work with Tommy in the production to, kind of like hone up his broadcast skills before he actually gets his own show. WQAM, hello.
Hey, why can't Mad Dog just do those 2 hours as well?
I don't know. 2 to 7 sounds good to me. I like it.
Yeah, come on.
Or
the
let me
guy
ask you
carries
this.
the station.
Listen, what about 2 to 6?
That'll work.
Yeah, okay, thanks. You know something? This guy, why don't they do that?
Wow.
Look, well, you know what it is? I don't think he wants to do 4 hours.
No.
That would be the answer, because once upon a time, back in the day, we were doing, let's see, what was it? It was the worst team in the morning, and then we were 10 to 2, and then Hank was 2 to 6, right? The shift is not 4 to 7. There is no such shift in radio as 4 to 7. Maybe somewhere. Right? Just like there's no shift like 10:45 to 2. That would be perfect, 2 to 6. And then 6, who cares after 6? We don't really care after 6. 6 a.m. to 6 p., that's where the numbers are. That's where the revenue is, okay? After 6 p.m., everyone's watching the TV news. They're eating dinner. They're getting ready to go out and get laid or whatever they're going to do. Watching TV, prime time, right?
Right.
So 2 to 6 sounds like I don't know why they're doing that. Because I guess because they want to be consistent. They consistently do things that make no sense. Plus, I don't think he wants to do 4 hours. A little bit too much, even for the Mad Dog. And he's got his other business. If he didn't have the other business going, which I guess is where he makes most of his money from his construction business, if he didn't have that going, and then all the Dolphin responsibilities as well, maybe he might do 2 to 6. Please? How about pretty please? All right. What do you say, Mad Dog? 2 to 6 sounds like I think that's the solution. Why don't they consult me on these things, huh? Why didn't they consult me before they did this whole Stern business?
Yes! Yes!
What do you say, man? 2 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we just made a deal. Now let's see if we can get somebody to sign it whose signature means something. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Oh, by the way, it is written into my contract we're not allowed to criticize Matty Bell. No, it specifically says we can't call him a wrinkled-up old midget that works down the hall at Power but keeps interfering with QAM. WQAM, hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Pretty good, Pally.
Yeah, I received some nominations yesterday.
Yeah, okay, good. Nomination for Jackass of the Month, and it's only the 5th of the month. Good work. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Hey, I'd just like to let you know my fiancé and I are moving to Canada in June.
All right.
All right.
Whereabouts?
A little east of you, Montreal.
Oh, Montreal's a fine place. Have you been there much?
Absolutely. I've been there 5 times. I've loved
that's
it
a great
every
city.
time.
I mean, the weather is horrible. I mean, 1,000 times worse than here. But on those 10 days here when the weather is nice, it's great.
Absolutely. I'm getting married in Notre Dame in June. The church there.
I'm going to tell you, man, it's one of my favorite cities. I never thought I would like it that much, but it's kind of a cross. It's like halfway between Toronto and Europe. In other words, Toronto's a little more European than American. You know, it's like a little, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But Montreal is like right in the middle. It's like halfway between American and European. Very great.
Absolutely correct. I used to give you stats at the Panther games. Sorry they're not playing this year, but hopefully we have next year. And
well, let's see. Don't go before I think of the name of that great restaurant that I love. There's so many fantastic restaurants in Montreal. The food there is some of the best in the world.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with that?
Sure, absolutely. Great food eaten at several restaurants. Very good.
There's an Italian restaurant that begins with a B, and for the life of me, I can't think of it downtown. Oh, gee. Well, I'll blurt it out during the show. It'll come to me.
Hey, Phil Saltzman, worst karaoke singer in the world. Take care, Neil.
Good guy. Okay, thanks, pal. We love you, Phil. I keep saying it every day in hopes that he might get the message. I'm sure he'll get the message. Phil Saltzman retired on Sunday, called his last race after 20 years of doing a fine job at Calder Racetrack. Great guy. In spite of the fact that he put some real goofballs in the seats at the hockey arena in front of me and around me. But nevertheless, 9-year-old boy fascinated by toilets. Here's one of my favorite stories. Massillon, Ohio. 9-year-old Joey Sine is so interested in how toilets work that he wrote a letter to a toilet maker asking if they would produce a clear commode. You know how they have clear...
Right.
Other things, you know, like I'm trying to think of...
Good idea.
You know,
like
computer
inner
workings of it.
The insides and all
right, exactly. The kishkis, the inside. He thought it would be neat to have a clear toilet in his house so he can see how it works, said his father, Nick Sine. The letter to Kohler, well, we've all heard of Kohler, a Wisconsin-based plumbing... Haven't you heard of Kohler?
Sure.
Wisconsin-based plumbing product company, sent last year when Joey was 8, caught the company's attention. It's pretty unusual to get a letter like that from an 8-year-old, said John Bashaw, the company's customer service director. A clear toilet wasn't doable. But officials at Kohler wrote back twice. We were so impressed by the fact that he took time to write us a letter, Bashaw said. In December, the little plumber from Massillon got a present from Kohler, a state-of-the-art bulk flush toilet. Bulk flush toilet. I have no idea what that is.
I don't. My imagination sure is.
Joey, who keeps a toolbox under his bed, not that Joey's a little bit strange, you understand, was nearly speechless. A local plumber agreed to help the boy install his dream gift. When we built our home, he would come over a lot when they were building it, and he followed the plumber around. He would just watch, said Michael Sine, Joey's mother, Michelle Sine. When Dennis Potter of Ohio Spa and Parts taking the lead, Joey helped remove the old upstairs bathroom toilet and installed the new one. Potter taught the youngster how to install a toilet. He gave him tips and quizzed him on the many functions. By the end, Joey was working on it by himself. Among his duties... Now, is that a play on words?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Are you schmitting me? Among his duties, Joey disconnected and carried out the old toilet tank. He unwrapped the new toilet seat, screwed it on the bowl, and discarded the product sticker. Joey, smiling the entire time, was eager to learn from a real-life plumber. Plumbers are guardians of the nation's health because they take care of everything, Potter told his apprentice. For Joey, it wasn't all that deep. It was just fun to put it together, he said. And don't you think there's a little symbolism involved there? Joey's trying, already at his young age, learned that life is basically a pile of schmidt.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, and my New Year's resolution is to get all of my Republican friends to change the Constitution so I can be president. Once I do that, I resolve to destroy all of the copies of the videotape that shows me smoking reefer in the 70s. Okay. Happy New Year, everybody. Pass the chronic.
1243, 1701 at 560 WQAM. We got 390 votes. I'm getting a little choked up about it, especially thinking about Defoe being on 2 to 4. Well, at least it'll be on after us. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
As opposed to back in the day when we were preceded by the worst team. See, one of the problems they used to have in the morning on the worst team, besides the fact that there were 3 people on there, you don't need 3 people. That was the chigger in the woodpile, that one right there. But that they couldn't get out they also couldn't read the clock. And then Robert Grieper would open the door. I'd be sitting in there ready to go on at 10 o'clock, and he'd open the door. Well, we're going to be 2 minutes over. They had a very important interview. How can you have a very important interview that's so important that you can't tell what time it is?
Well, it's an important sports interview, see.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Because on this station, when it's a sports thing, then it's extremely important. Where's that sports thing we got? What is that called?
Sports!
No, not that. That new one.
Oh, I don't know. It's on a disc.
No, I know what it's called.
Sports is the homo. Sports is the homo. Sports is the homo. Sports is the homo. Sports is the homo.
Yes.
Sports is the homo. Sports is the homo. Sports is for homo.
Let me say it again. Kurt Warner's a pain in the ass. He is a real, you talk about the Jesus Christers who are offensive and obnoxious and never give it a rest. We're not interested in the middle Wheel of Fortune hearing about Jesus, okay? And by the way, you lost, loser. That'll teach whoever that broad was playing with Kurt Warner. That'll teach them to team up with him. Loser. One lucky year. That's always a fluke, right, Josh, whatever your name is?
Well, I wouldn't call it a fluke. He won the Super Bowl, but he hasn't been good since.
It's a fluke. What was the guy's name? It was Johnson, Bob Johnson. What was his name in Tampa when they won the Super Bowl?
When Tampa won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
It was
2 years ago.
Brad Johnson.
That was close. Brad Johnson. Somebody with a B. Who's with a B? Brad Johnson. How's he doing?
Pretty terrible.
Yeah. He's not even playing, is he?
No.
Isn't Greasy playing quarterback for Tampa Bay, which they lose every week? So that goes to show you. Anybody can. Now, when a guy wins it 2 out of 3 years and when his team goes 14-2, like the lovely Tom Brady, then it's a different story. Then you got some real talent. He ain't no flash in the pan. Even you, being a Dolphin fan, would have to admit that.
Well, I'm not a Dolphin fan, but yeah, again, that's...
You're not a Dolphin fan?
I mean, I wish him the best. I live here, but
I don't.
I'm not like a huge Dolphin fan.
Well, then what do you like?
I actually like the Bucks more than I like the Dolphins.
You like the Tampa Bay Bucks?
Yeah, I lived there for a couple of years.
Oh, my God. That explains a lot.
Oh, my gosh.
That explains your hostility toward Avril Lavigne and all Canadians. I don't understand that. That is outrageous. Anyway, 397 votes. Who would you want on from 2 to 4 starting Monday? You better decide quick because we don't have a lot of time. You know how fast Monday's going to be here? Just like that. It'll be here. If they put Sporting News Radio on till 7 o'clock in the morning, see, I want to say these things very loudly. Not that I really care. We're back to 10 to 2 starting Monday every day. All we can do is take care of our own little business here, right? That's all we can do.
That's all.
But if they never listen to anything that I tell them. Didn't I blurt on the air about the Stern and about the self-appointed moral censor of South Florida and all the problems that we're going to have, all of these things, and the FCC complaints, all of the tourists. They won't listen. Just go ahead behind everybody's back and pull all these deals, and then they just keep blowing up in their face over and over and over again. How many times can a kid put his hand on a hot stove? How stupid do you have to be, kid? Okay? He's not even like reaching up there to touch it, like real quick. No, he's slamming his hand right on the red hot stove, on the electric stove. The burner is just a brilliant red, and he keeps sticking his hand on there and getting burned. How many times can you do that before somebody says you're a moron? You know what I mean? A moron. But nevertheless, 403 votes. Jeff DeForest has got 113. He's way ahead of the pack of a very lackluster group. Curtis Stevenson, I don't mean any disrespect to Curtis in that, but he's like a little wet behind the ears, a little raw, 70. Kim Bokamper, 52, a little stiff. Kim is a good guy, big, huge guy. You wouldn't want to mess with him. He's got that big cow in front of his University Dodge, but a little on the stiff side, wouldn't you say? Yes. Mo Howard David at 49. Although, look at that, Kim's moved ahead of Mo. Oh, man, Mo, how you have fallen. The Big O, 41. Warren the Crow, 28. You notice how we got a whole bunch of people. We got Mo, the Crow.
Big O.
The Crow, the Big O. We used to have Joe. In fact, we used to have 2 Joes.
We have Kimbo, Camper.
Right, as I just said, Bo. Just said that. Gildy, 24.
Say Bo.
Bo. Joe Zagacki, 14. Kimba. Lenny Martez, 6, and Troy Stratford's got 6. Lenny Martez and Troy are tied. If I were Troy Stratford, I'd be very offended by that. I think it's a racial thing. Although, quite frankly, isn't Lenny like a little darker than Troy?
A little bit, yeah.
When you come right down to it. Now, Lenny is what? He's a...
Puerto Rican.
Oh, he's Rican.
Sí.
I thought you liked him, though.
I do.
Oh. You Spicks, man, you got this biggest problem hating each other. It's just amazing to me. You think that the Jews have got a problem with Orthodox and the... Huh?
It's all
No, it is not. No, it's not.
Maybe
you crazy? And especially the poor Mexicans, man, they get the short end of the stick, so to speak. The short end of the
Somebody's got to
guacamole.
pick the veggies. I mean, I'm not going to.
How's Veggie from Boca doing, I wonder? Let's see. A McGill University alumnus says, it says a McGill University alumni. Now, a McGill University alumnus, how you graduated, I have no idea. See, I wouldn't say I'm a Michigan State alumnus because I went to school about 5 weeks, and then after that realized it was a pile of crap and had a good time, drank a lot of beer. But alumni is plural, okay, for my McGill friend. Is the restaurant you're talking about called Buonanotte on Saint Laurent? No, it's Boccaccino's. It just came to me. Begins with a B. Thank you very much for my Boccaccino's. Man, that place is so good. There's so many great restaurants in Montreal. You want to pig out? I'm telling you, you'd like Montreal a lot.
I'll be right back.
It says uber trendy Italian. Buonanotte. I think I've seen that on Saint Laurent. Montreal is North America's best city. No, and I would not agree with that. Toronto is heads and shoulders above Montreal, but Montreal is outstanding. Great food. Yeah, the food is better. Beautiful women. I sure didn't see any beautiful people of any gender, of any of the three. Boy, they have some of the ugliest people there because most of them are frogs. Laid-back Canucks, quasi-legal herb. Yeah, it's a very progressive, even more progressive, I would say, than Ontario is Quebec. They are so militantly progressive. You don't mess with the fags. You don't mess with the weed, with the potheads. You don't mess with anybody. It says, except for the French. Now we got it. Except for the French, it is a paradise. Oh, and the winter sucks too. Right. Now we're getting the truth. The weather is really brutal. They have really nasty winters and too many French people. And not only that, you think you got a language problem in South Florida, which you do. Wow. I told you those stories about sitting there at the casino in Montreal and people who are speaking French, obnoxious frogs, are like to your left and to your right. And you just tell them very nicely, sorry, I speak English. And then they'll speak English to you for like 30 seconds. Then they'll turn to you like 2 minutes later and speak to you in French again. So either they got Alzheimer's or they're just rude and obnoxious, which I think the latter could be true. The people there are a lot more polite, a lot friendlier, and a lot, a little more. Plus much better looking people here. Oh, trust me when I tell you, of all varieties, all four.
I trust you.
I'm telling you. Believe me. But Montreal's a fine city. You'd like it a lot. And the food, if you're like skinny and you want to like bulk up, or if you're just ready to die and you don't care, oh, the restaurants there are to die for. 5670560, pound 560 on a Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. If you go to Montreal, Boccaccino's, trust me when I tell you, it's not a real fancy place. It's a beautiful restaurant, but it's one of those where you can get like, veal or omelets or just about anything. Breakfast all through the day.
Can you spin the veal?
Huh? You can spin the veal there too, yeah. And then, of course, in between spinning the veal, Kurt Warner will turn you on to Christ. Jesus, Kurt, will you go away already? Get off of my screen, you crazy Jesus Christ, are you? That is just so obnoxious, man. Believe what you want, but only in appropriate places is where you're supposed to deal with it, not try to force it on everybody else. That's the thing with these Goyim, man. They just won't stop. They won't stop trying to force it on everybody else. We don't want it, Oh, but vanilla ice cream is great. Great, enjoy it. Eat tubs of it. I don't want it.
You'll thank it from heaven.
Oh, beans, refried beans are great. Eat all the refried beans. Fart your brains out, okay? I don't want no refried beans, all right? Don't try to force them on me. Jesus. Oh, sorry. WQAM, hello.
Let's hear the oboe show.
The oboe show. Okay, the oboe. I think he's probably got the flute show himself. Sounds like it. Maybe it's the Flutie show. Let's get Doug Flutie. He ain't going to be nothing. He's still playing. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Well, how old must he be now? About 55, something like that? Doug Flutie. I remember that game. I saw it. I was watching it live. Boston College and University of Miami. God, one of my greatest memories of my life in sports. You remember that? Well, that's before you were born, probably. Or just about.
It was right there, but, I don't like the game. I'm a Miami fan, but...
But you've seen it.
I definitely have.
You've seen it how many times this week?
About 30, man.
That Hail Mary Doug Flutie touchdown pass right at the end of the game to beat the vaunted Hurricanes. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You can't spell scum without UM. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, down in the area, I lived down there for 20 years, so I've been in town for the last 2 days, so I've heard a lot of good stuff, and I want to chime in with two names.
Go right ahead.
What about the Bookster or the Rimmeister?
The Rimmeister?
Right, Rimmer.
And Bookster's busy doing baseball. Can't do it, Pally. Have a great year. He didn't hear that part. Boog, we like Boog a lot, but the fact of the matter is he's going to be doing baseball games, in addition to which his talk show performances just... Rock and roll talk. Hey, everybody, how about those Dolphins last night? They really kicked some ass, huh? We like Boog-a-lot. We like Boog-a-lot, but forget about talk shows, okay? Plus, and whatever happened, I guess he turned down the San Diego deal, or is that still up in the air?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything further.
You're certainly out of the loop for a guy that's in there right on Dave Van Boring's knee during all of the home games. You should be a little tighter with the Marlins organization, I would think. Or maybe you just don't want to be tighter with the organization.
I'll write him an email.
Yeah, send him an email and find out what the deal is, okay? Inquiring minds would like to know. We don't want to lose Boog. In fact, if the organization were really sharp, I better not say that. I don't want to get Jeffrey Lurie and David Sampson upset with me. Look what happened to the poor Humper. Like I said, if they were really smart, they would make Boog either the number one radio man or he'd get the TV gig. Now that Len Casper went to Chicago, now that the Cubs... Did I ever talk about the reason that they got blown out there?
Why is that?
What's his name? Chip Carey and Steve Stone. They were ripping the Cub players toward the stretch. You know, when the Cubs folded like an accordion like they usually do? They were ripping them in the ass, like Harry would do back in the day when Harry was alive. But they ain't no Harry, you know what I'm saying? They would tolerate it from Harry Carey, but not from these guys, not from grandson.
Well, they're not Harry.
So Steve Stone, he got sent back on his way to Arizona and to do his boyfriends. And Chip took the deal in Atlanta with his daddy, with Skip Carey. That's a real story about what happened with the Chicago Bar. Because I thought Chip did a really good job. Chip Carey's good. And Steve Stone been there forever. You know, she's been there a long time. Ever see Steve Stone and Muff together? Same person. Anyway, here's a fax from P.R. Ralph, who's out of control. Got a spy report. Like I said, we always love faxes from P.R. Ralph. It says, while on lunch in the orifice watching Channel 4, they mentioned the following news. We are glad to announce that Neil Rogers has resigned, or does that say resigned? Now, see, that's spelled the same way.
It sure does.
Right? No, I think resigned has got a hyphen, doesn't it?
I don't know.
This says resigned with 560 AM for another 2 years. The amount of the contract not announced, but it's got a six-figure signing bonus. So the newscaster, Black Girl, said that was great for you and congrats to you. And then they said, pause, Brian Andrews is in Indonesia.
Oh, no. Nice segue.
Well, yeah. One thing about that one, if he was there during the tsunami...
Hey, boy, what's that in your mouth?
He could just float away. You know, he'd just fly away. Brian Andrews. One of Channel 7's many news fairies. Here's another fax that says, bloggers, I wonder how your buddy Miss Kamala's doing on the inside.
Fine. Doing well. Yeah, they did.
Bloggers have no credibility. Most of them are a bunch of overly caffeinated, self-loving bums who've never had a real job, says this fax, like most right-wing radio talk show hosts. It wouldn't be so bad if blogs were entertaining, but every blog I've read has the sense of humor of Sean Hannity at Sunday morning services. You have an excuse for pontificating, excluding deservedly bombastic opinions and rants. You're good at it. Make us laugh. Get paid an obscene amount of money to do it. Bloggers don't get paid, can't get laid, are about as entertaining as watching Boca Brian's hair grow. I'm supposed to care what that kind of person has to say. Blogs suck. And beware reports crafted by any foundation with the name Pew in it. The Pews are right-wing nutjobs promoting a corporate feudal state. Conservative talking heads love to promote the fine young American bloggers muckraking the liberal media, despite what that article said about Kerry supporters more likely to read blogs. There's a very, very educational, informative facts, isn't it? Pretty good. How come everything has gone so well lately? I don't understand it. I mean, just the last 3 days.
Oh, don't jinx it.
Okay. Well, we got till Monday to see what happens, what kind of Schmidt they foist on us on Monday. But do not put Sporting News Radio on the air between 6 and 7 a.m. Please give the Humper a little bit of a lead in there, man. Not Sporting. Even what's his name? He could come back just to do 5 to 6 or 5 to 7. What would be wrong with that?
Nothing.
In fact, the days he would... He's used to getting up there and doing the 5 to 8. He could do 5 to 7. What?
Sporting News Radio.
What? Are you crazy?
I'm not going to program it.
Is that what it's going to be?
I think that's what it's going to be.
See, that gives the Humper a handicap right off the bat, because he's going to be responsible in the book for 6 to 10, Morning Drive. If they're putting him on there like Goose Up Morning Drive, which obviously they are, once they blow Stern out, why would you give a guy a handicap? Why would you put an hour of dead air on behind him? Because that 6 o'clock hour is a fourth of the entire time period. Oh, well. 1258 at 560 WQAM. Did you earn less than $50,000 last year? If your answer is yes, then it's time for a career change. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Fast Train can have you trained and ready for a new high-paying career in as little as 4 months. Fast Train offers high-demand, high-paid career training. If you like computers, ever thought of becoming a computer network professional, call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. The demand for computer professionals is at an all-time high, and Fast Train can have you trained and ready for a new career in as little as 4 months. Fast Train's got fantastic locations all over town, for whether in Kendall, Miami, Pembroke Pines, and Fort Lauderdale. And Fast Train offers job placement and financial aid for people who qualify, too, and they even have day, evening, and weekend classes, which are forming right now. So if you want out of that dead-end job, just say goodbye to your putz boss and get yourself a real life with a real paycheck to go with it. Call Fast Train today, 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
You're listening to Neil Rogers, exclusive. QAM.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
I absolutely want to puke.
Hey, I'm Ashley Simpson. Some of you guys might know me as Jessica Simpson's little sister.
And if I ever record an album, I want this guy to produce make me beautiful duets.
We're going to California and Texas and New York.
Freaking genius!
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
I'm just not feeling well at all. I just don't want to throw up in a limo on the floor. So, are you thirsty? Are you done? Not at all.
You can pee on it, or Nicole can pee on it, or you can get somebody else to pee on it.
Are you lying?
That's the only thing that'll take the sting out of it, quick.
My decision to change the Super Bowl performance was actually made after the final rehearsal. I am really sorry if I offended anyone. That was truly not my intention.
102 at 560 WQAM. Depot's got a big lead. Nobody's going to catch him, and that's just the way it is. Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe they've done a nationwide search this week, and they're going to bring in some real high-paid, hotshot talent. Do you think? Condom testing reveals the best brands. Don't you think this is of great interest to all of our people out there?
We should know.
Yeah, you should know. Well, it's too late now.
Yeah.
The consumers group best known for rating cars and washing machines has turned its testing prowess to condoms to find out which ones measure up best and how other birth control methods compare. The only problem with that is this is like Consumer Reports, that magazine.
Yeah, that you hate for some reason.
Because most of the crap I haven't read that in years, but when I did read it back in the day, their reviews were garbage. They're full of crap. I always had the feeling that they were getting smeared somewhere,
Gee, that'd be novel.
Feeling. The Nonprofit Consumers Union says in a new guide to contraception that the 7 top types of condom they studied did not burst despite vigorous testing, and all models met international standards. I wonder how they did that vigorous testing.
A machine?
Well, I'm sure of that. But results showed that the top brand able to take the most punishment was the Durex Extra Sensitive Lubricated Latex, according to the report. The Durex Extra Sensitive Lubricated Latex.
Okay.
By the way, did I mention today how much I love FedEx? Because it rhymes with latex. FedEx is great. God. Other top performers include the Durex Performax Lubricated, Lifestyle's Classic Collection Ultra Sensitive Lubricated, and They Fit Lubricated. You got those?
No, not on
Durex Performax Lubricated, Lifestyle's Classic Collection Ultra Sensitive Lubricated, and They Fit Lubricated. A melon-colored model. Oh, a melon-colored model. Isn't that sweet? Now, is that like watermelon-colored?
Not flavored?
Who do you think uses those? A melon-colored model distributed by Planned Parenthood performed the worst... distributed by Planned Parenthood, bursting during a test in which the latex condoms were filled with air. How do you like that? Well, that's Planned Parenthood, all right. That's the way to plan it. Maybe they ought to call it Planted Parenthood. The group says its review of contraceptives was not politically motivated, although there is an intense debate among health professionals and advocacy groups about the focus on abstinence-only education by the Bush administration. We plan our testing programs quite a while in advance. This is purely accidental, said senior editor Nancy Metcalf. Consumers Union standardized tests to rate the products it examines, which for latex condoms involves filling them with air. There is no accepted method to test silicone or non-latex condoms. You end up with a balloon about 3 feet tall and a foot wide. They can really stretch an amazing amount, Metcalf said in a telephone interview. Yeah, I've seen that. The New York-based organization which publishes the Consumers Reports magazine also tested 16 other contraceptive choices. Condoms remain the only family planning and pregnancy prevention method that can help prevent sexually transmitted diseases, including HIV, which causes AIDS. The group, which has issued similar reports on condoms periodically since '79, be saying in a statement. Condoms have improved since the mid-'90s because industry manufacturing standards have become more universally used and more effective, added Edward Capel, who led the condom test project. Intrauterine devices, or IUDs, have also become safer than in previous years, as have birth control pills, including so-called emergency contraception, the group said. While abstinence is a 0% failure rate, doing nothing to prevent pregnancy has an 85% failure rate, the group found. George. A U.S. government report published last month shows 98% of all U.S. women who've had sex have used birth control. Except when you least expected.
Here in the studio, we do have those Durex ones that you mentioned, and Trojan as well. For an option.
Are you blowing them up? Blow them up and put them on the door handles would be good. Keep all those pain-in-the-ass invaders out of
there.
They're
lubricated.
Now, speaking of what I was just talking about, wait till you hear this one. Rochester, New York. I could throw a rock from here to Rochester, right across the lake. A family court judge who last year stirred debate about parental responsibilities ordered a second drug-addicted woman to have no more children until she proves she can look after the 7 she already has. I like that, Judge. The 31-year-old mother, identified in court papers only as Judgette W., Judgette, lost custody of her children ranging in age from 8 months to 12 years in child neglect hearings dating back to 2000. 6 are in foster care at state expense, and 1 lives with an aunt. The youngest child and 2 others tested positive for cocaine at birth, and all 7 were removed from her care and custody because she could not and did not take care of them, Judge Marilyn O'Connor said in a December 22nd decision made public yesterday. Because every child born deserves a mother and a father, or at the very least a mother or a father, this court is once again taking the unusual step of ordering this biological mother to conceive no more children until she reclaims her children from foster care or other caretakers, O'Connor be writing. In a similar ruling last March, O'Connor ordered a drug-addicted homeless mother of 4 to refrain from bearing children until she won back care of her children. The decision, the first of its kind in the state of New York, is being appealed. Wisconsin and Ohio have upheld similar rulings involving deadbeat dads who fail to pay child support, but in other states, judges have turned back attempts to interfere with a person's right to procreate. Oh, yeah, in the Sunshine State, they want you to procreate. O'Connor said she was not forcing contraception or sterilization on the mother. This goes back to what I've been saying for years now. How many years have I been saying it?
About 30, man.
Forced sterilization. If you want to save the human race, forced sterilization. People who shouldn't be making no babies, guess what? They're making the most of them, is what they're doing. O'Connor said she wasn't forcing contraception or sterilization on the mother who had children with 7 different men, nor requiring her to get an abortion should she get pregnant, but she warned that the woman could be jailed for contempt if she has another child. Wait till you hear this. The New York Civil Liberties Union maintained that the opinion cannot be enforced because it tramples on a fundamental right, the right to procreate. Oh, brother. You see, I usually like the ACLU and all the other civil liberties groups, but they just go too far at times, which is what turns a lot of us off. Tramples on a fundamental right, the right to procreate, like rabbits, like ants.
They need to choose their battles.
Like roaches. There is no question the circumstances of the case are deeply troubling, said the group's executive director, Donna Lieberman. Donna Lieberman.
Oy!
But ordering a woman under threat of jail not to have any more babies puts the court squarely in the bedroom, and that's no place for the government. Right. Right. How do you like that? We need a lot more judges like that, I'll tell you. Sure. And a lot fewer ACLU and NCLU and all type of people like Donna Lieberman. Probably kin. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon singular wireless line. I'm sure Mad Dog will have a lot more to extrapolate today, between 2 and 4 about the coming situation. Next Monday, Mad Dog 4 to 7. Like I said, next Monday, Mad Dog 2 to 7. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, man? I want to see if you watched a show last night called The Jesus Factor on PBS.
No, I did not see that.
Oh, my God. You got to check that out. It's on PBS.org. It's about the Bush and his hate-based initiative.
Right.
Or if you want to call it the faith-based initiative.
Hate-based.
Yeah, you should definitely check that out. Go to PBS.org. You can watch the whole show. It's a very good documentary.
Okay.
Make sure you check that out.
Thanks a lot, Pally.
Take care.
Oh, and by the way, I'm glad he mentioned that because White House doled out more than $1 billion in so-called faith-based funds. And you wonder why we have Kurt Warner popping up there on Wheel of Fortune. In fact, Pat Sajak said he's been on there more than any dumb jock. He said like 5 or 6 times now. That's because he's part of the God Squad. He keeps slipping in that Jesus Christer stuff. In New Haven, Connecticut, AIDS counselors don't hesitate to stop and pray anytime someone needs a boost. In Charleston, South Carolina, Crisis Ministries provided shelter and meals for the homeless and the hungry. Both are on a White House list of faith-based organizations that together received more than $1 billion in federal grants in 2003. But when it comes to religion, the group's philosophies are quite different. The Connecticut AIDS program doesn't hesitate to incorporate religion into its program, but in South Carolina, Crisis Ministries doesn't consider itself a religious group at all. Someone has obviously designated us as a faith-based organization, but we don't recognize ourselves as that, said Stacy Deno, Executive Director of Crisis Ministries. Hers was one of many groups with entirely secular missions that were surprised to find their names on a list of faith-based groups provided to the A&P by the White House. Well, it's just like everything else, you know, and that's why when they first came up with that number, what was it, 35 million? Was that really the first number they came up with for the tsunami victims? Huh?
Yeah, it was.
Come on. They spend more on, they flush more than that down the toilet before they're through with breakfast every day in Washington. Are you kidding me?
So the first number was actually $8, but, you know.
They should have come up, there should have been $1 billion right off the bat. $1 billion. No problem at all. They find that kind of money under mattresses. In trunks of parked cars right behind the White House. They find $1 billion in small bills and cash. Oh, we're going to give 35 million. And then, of course, they continue being embarrassed and being humiliated by all these other countries. Australia, they said they're giving 400 million. You see that?
Yeah.
Down under. The Australians, 400 million. Even the Canucks with only 30 million people are given $80 million. So that's like almost $3 a person. That would be 900 million. There's your billion from the U.S. right there. But oh no, and of course these are the self-proclaimed religionists, the pious, the compassionate conservatives that really care about people. They don't give a crap about anything except tax cuts for their rich friends. That's all they give a crap about. And carrying on their worldwide hysterical crusade. That's what they're doing. Remember he used the word crusade and all of a sudden people got real nervous? But that's what he really meant. And that's why you got that fat-ass governor of yours, Jeb Bush, over there in Indonesia, running around, putting on a dog and pony show. That's their plan. 4 more years of W, 8 years of Jeb, 8 years of George P. That's what they're thinking, man. The Bush dynasty is what they got in mind.
The twins and then Noel.
Yeah, that's right. And then Noel can be in there. Free Coke for everybody, man. That'll
right.
be instead of the national anthem, they'll be playing Things Go Better with Coke before ball games. I can't stand Coca-Cola, man. Although I'm drinking. No, I'm not drinking it. Huh?
Don't like it.
Pepsi is so much better.
Yes, it is.
In fact, you know what I'm drinking?
Snapple.
Caffeine-free. Oh, I wish I had some diets. It's hard to find Diet Snapple. Caffeine-free Diet Cola. It's Master Choice, MC.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's Canadian.
Big spender.
Well, let's see. What does it say here? Company of Canada Limited, Toronto, Ontario. Well, there it is. So I'm not even subsidizing the Coca-Cola people.
Right. Everybody is as good as Czech Cola.
No, that's a Winn-Dixie thing. That's Winn-Dixie. That's their house brand is Czech. And by the way, you better check the beef before we take it out there. It's in those closed-up packages. You can't see what's inside that green meat. 113 at 560 WQM. Ring in the new year with a new car or truck from the folks at Armstrong Ford Homestead. You've been putting off buying anything, but don't wait another minute because right now, for a limited time, get yourself 0% financing on any of the following. New 05s in stock ready for immediate delivery. Escapes, Freestars, Taurus, F Super Duty Harley Davidson trucks, and the all-new the Ford 500, like I said. If you want more, how about the 1.9% financing that's waiting for you on all-new 05 Expeditions, Explorers, F-150s, and Rangers, too. Certain restrictions apply. The lots at Armstrong Ford Homestead are jam-packed, and they're cutting prices like crazy right as I speak. They offer more value to you, too, because when you buy your Ford at Armstrong Ford, you'll get their exclusive, almost unheard-of Tires and Batteries for Life program. That's right, they give you tires and batteries for life. Plus, for a limited time, a free sun pass, too. David Rich and the great staff at Armstrong Ford Homestead will guarantee you the best price, and don't forget, because they're locally owned and operated, they want to treat you like family, so they'll make you a customer for life. You won't get a better deal on a Ford anywhere, no how, no way, no bait and switch, no phony deals, just fantastic, unbeatable deals at Armstrong Ford Homestead. You'll find them at 30725 South Dixie Highway, that's just 20 minutes south of the 836. Check out the web, armstrongcars.com, and then drive a little bit and save thousands on that new Ford, only at Armstrong Ford of Homestead.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and midday. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Greatest movies take an unexpected turn for the worse all this week on Bummer Theater. Monday night, it's Mary Poppins.
Hi, Mary Poppins. Oh, my. It's really closing.
Then Tuesday, see the bummer version of Star Wars.
Luke, join me on the dark side.
Okay.
On Wednesday, it's Lassie as you've never seen her before.
Look, Mom! Mom, it's Lassie! She's come home!
Thursday night, it's Bummer Theater's version of The Wizard of Oz.
There's no place like home. Hey, nothing's happening.
Oh, of course not, you little twerp. They're just shoes.
And Friday, usher in the holiday season with Miracle on 34th Street.
I'm Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I am, I tell you.
Yeah, sure, Pop, and I'm the Energizer Bunny. Now, how's about a little shock therapy to light up Santa's nose, huh?
Here we go.
You'll laugh. No, you won't. When you tune in this week to Bummer Theater.
Isn't it great to hear some of those old ACN bits now that I have
I
my
was
CD
loving
discs that really work? So in my spare time, which, I got a little bit of that, I just whip out all those old ACN discs and I'm like dubbing them into the thing. I'm dub theatering. Isn't that great?
It is great.
They're getting in there. I got 8 zillion of those because a lot of people listening right now never heard that stuff from 100 years ago.
Like Josh.
Recycling the old crap, like Josh Cordes there, whatever his name is. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. WQAM, hello.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Cómo bien? ¿Y tú cómo andas?
QAM.
Sí. Sí.
See?
¿Dónde estás? Bueno, pasa por aquí, ven para acá.
Oh, hey. I'm crazy on that.
I beg your pardon?
Put that back on.
What do you mean put that back on? I'm not putting that back on. God only knows what he's going to say. One of your
right.
people.
I wanna know.
Right, exactly. 567-0560, pound 560 on a Verizon singular wireless line. Look at these phones kind of like falling to a screeching halt here this hour. You're right, I probably should have left him on. WQAM, hello.
How about Dave?
Yeah, how about getting lost? WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Well, would it be more appropriate for a sports pack station than Carlos the receptionist?
Yeah, he'd be dynamite for about 2 seconds.
There you go. And could you play
Maybe if we just broadcast his funeral would be good.
Because you know he's on Power 96 called Lita. You know that.
Yeah.
Okay, can you play the big Bo and Joe show, Bo Griffin?
I guess.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
See ya. Is there anything sub rosa in that thing?
Not that I can think of, but you know, it's
not
been a while.
that you can think of. Well, that doesn't
It's been
sound
a while.
like you.
What do you want?
I don't think it's called the Bo and Joe show. I think it's called the Joe and Bo.
560 WQAM presents the Joe and Bo Show, starring Joe Costello and Bo Griffin. In Dade, call 567-0560. Mobile users dial pound 560. To tax Joe and Bo, call 305-650-0198. Now, here's Joe and Bo.
Well, I never thought I'd find the kind of ride that I'd be tooling around in today. Now it's a classy set of wheels.
What you think you do? What do you think you do? Leave it alone. What are you doing? What you mean by playing that? We play it all the time.
I'm gonna say the N-word.
I don't want to hear no white and doing nigga back.
Okay, like I said, see that was a setup. That was one of Carlos's boyfriends.
Must have been.
Yeah, inside, and that was Matty Bell's boyfriend calling. 567-0560. I just knew. I had a feeling there was something there, which is why I don't play it. I don't like if it was really all that funny, which it's not, unless you really know what the story was. It doesn't mean anything to most people.
Right, it's dated.
Exactly. Line 9, QAM, hello. QAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Brian, Rochester.
Yeah, Brian, how you doing? Rochester?
Not only do we have judges telling people not to have kids, we got a ferry for sale down here.
I know that. Well, there's a lot of ferries over there and on this side of the lake, too, man.
Well,
Trust
that's
me.
good. Maybe they can all get together, pool their money, and go out to the middle of the lake.
Right.
Hey, take care, Neil.
Okay, you can see it down at Bob's if they ever reopen, pal.
No, that's a bank now.
I know it is.
They've torn down more corners and put up more banks. I just don't know.
I bet you that Earl's Drugs is still there at the 12 Corners.
No, that's long gone.
Really? How about Cadet Cleaners?
Well, there's a few of those.
No, but there's one on Monroe Avenue right there by the 12 Corners.
No, that's gone. It's
oh, jeez.
We
I'm
got
not
a
going back
Leary.
to Rochester anytime soon, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, it's a good place to live. You don't really want to visit here, though.
During those 10 days when it's warm, right? Okay, I'll see you at Cobb's Hill, Pally.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
Bye. Yeah, you can't go back, man. You go back, you just can't do it. It's like Boston. Man, when I lived in Boston in the early 60s for a year and a half, wow, that's when I got fat. I told you that. Boston was really something. And now, I don't know, it's still a fine city. You've been there.
I have
not. You haven't been to Boston?
No, Miguel has.
Get out of here. You'd love Boston.
That's what I'm told.
But it's just not like it used to be. Of course, nothing is like it was. Everything is like based on your personal perspective, depending on how old you were, what was happening in your life at the time, all of these things. Yeah, it's like Detroit. Oh, God, I remember the first time I was driving my own car on the expressways in Detroit, on a Lodge Expressway and the Edsel Ford Expressway. There's nothing like it. And then, of course, somebody decided it would be a good idea to burn the city down, and quite frankly, since then, ain't been the same. Don't go to Detroit. Don't put that high on your list.
All right. I'm scratching it off.
Good. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
Excellent.
Happy whatever. Listen.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. How about a lady like Caroline, the lady that used to work there for a while in the morning?
No, she works over there on Power 96, I believe.
Oh, well, but that's in the same family. Oh, how about Book Chamby is very, very good.
But he's going to be doing baseball. You're not listening to me. I don't know what
I
happened.
know that he's going to be doing baseball. So doesn't Mo does football?
One game a week on a weekend.
Oh, listen.
Oh.
In the morning, who is going to be there?
Who's the janitor? Robert Grieper? What do you mean by that? Hank is going to be doing 7 to 10.
Oh, Manatee Goldberg.
Yeah, Manatee Goldberg is going to be doing 7 to 10.
Uh-huh.
Before 7, we have no idea yet, but I'm afraid it might be the Sporting News Radio, which if that's the case, I could get really sick for a couple of months.
Well, you can always get from 2 to 4 a very intelligent person called Francisco Aruca.
Oh, Francisco Aruca. I hear he's got the best show in town, is what I'm hearing.
Excellent progressive
Francisco Aruca is the best radio show on AM. What time is he on?
I don't know.
He's from 4 to 5 in a station that you used to work called WQAM. That is only listened in Little Havana.
I used to work on WOCN.
Yeah, didn't you used to work on a station in Flagler on 18th Street?
Oh, you mean the building, not on the station, though.
Well, in that building, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
we had to flood there one time, and all the water came under the door and flooded all of our equipment. I was sitting there in my socks.
Before it became a Cuban station.
Yeah. Well, listen, have a great day, amigo, and happy 4th of Cinco de Mayo.
Bye.
Oh, he obviously had a good New Year. All right. 56705. See, I got another idea. Let me toss this one out there.
Toss it.
I have a feeling that Curtis might be working with Hank anymore. I don't know who's going to be with Hank. But if not, how's this? Mad Dog, 2 to 6 with Curtis. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Curtis, 2 to 4. I had this all nailed down.
I doubt it.
No. Curtis, 2 to 4, and then with the Mad Dog till 6, and then Mad Dog solo 6 to 7. You following that?
Yeah.
I mean, Mad Dog can do that 6 to 7 hour without a sidekick, right?
Yeah, but would he want to?
He's doing 4 to 7 anyway. Oh, would he want to do it alone?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that tight with him. You'll have to find out if he does it alone.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
In the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Yeah.
Well, his chest is bulging and his arms are thick, lifting weights just like a lunatic. Missed most of the season 'cause he said he's sick, but guess what? He's all juiced up. Yeah. First it was a parasite for GRB, the player with the neck bigger than an oak tree. But Jason can't blame that one on GNC, 'cause guess what? He's all juiced up. Yeah. Well, Jason claims he never used the stuff, but his pecs are huge and his complexion's rough. Well, it looks more plump than Hans and Franz, but Gianni better stay away from Barry Bonds. He doesn't hit, he can't run or throw. Guess they should have told him that down at Belco. When he makes wee-wee, it has a neon glow, 'cause guess what? He's all juiced up. Yeah. His muscle tissue's been rearranged. Jason Giambi, you look deranged, and someone said your voice has changed.
Feel fine. I don't know what all the fuss is about.
Well, his chest is bulging and his arms are thick, lifting weights just like a lunatic. Missed most of the season 'cause he said he's sick, but guess what? He's all juiced up. Yeah.
1:30 at 560 WQAM. Mad Dog at 2 for today anyway. 514 votes. We're trying to find out your choice. Who you'd like to see in that 2 to 4 slot when Mad Dog moves up to 4 to 7 next Monday. And Jeff the Fourth, 141. I guess that's what it's going to be, huh? If I were a betting man, Defoe. You think?
Yeah.
How come I don't hear anybody?
We hear you.
Is there some special reason for that?
Check it out.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Oh, somebody did something.
What do you mean by that?
Now we have a delay between us. I hear myself coming back at me.
Yeah.
Somebody's potching in the other room. Because Josh is clear across the room.
No, I think I hit something on here.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. How's this possible?
You're
hearing me fine, right?
Right.
Am I hearing you fine? Let me just try this.
Try that.
Better not, because then he'll play a spot. Wait a minute. Here we go.
He won't play a spot.
Don't play a spot.
I won't.
How's that sound?
Fine.
Okay. How do I sound?
Fine.
Like me?
Except
you sound fine.
I keep echoing back to myself.
Oh, we're fine.
Well, why is that?
I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, how about now?
Hello? There it is. Gone.
I think one of these. How about now?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
There's an echo.
There's no echo?
This is an echo.
It is an echo.
Echo.
Yeah. And how about now?
Echo. Still an echo.
I think I must have hit something on this board here.
Still echoing.
It's still echoing?
Yes. Yes.
I am?
I am.
Oh, you are. You're not echoing on the air, though, are you?
How would I know?
I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me try this.
Yes. Apparently, I'm echoing on the air.
How about now?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about now?
Can you hear me now? No. No echo. Hello.
Well,
no, I'm back.
Yeah, I can't deal with this. Okay, maybe you just ought to shut up.
Bye.
No, seriously, but then the callers are going to echo, too. I did something here on a board. I hit something.
Right.
The only problem is I have no idea which one it is.
You probably turned on the program on the return from the station.
Right. Well, I've tried turning that off. Now, how's this?
You sound fine. Do you hear me?
Even now I can't hear you.
Turn program off and audition on. There should only be one press on your return from the station, and it's either program or audition.
It's program is what it should be.
Okay.
And how about now? Is the echo gone?
Hello? No.
Yes?
No.
The echo is not gone?
No.
Well, that's what's pressed. Program out.
Right. Is audition still in?
Audition is not pressed down, no.
Hello? Still echoing.
Huh? It's still doing it.
Yeah.
Well, why are we doing this on the air? It's killing some fantastic time, by the way.
It's hysterical.
Yeah. Well, what else can I push here, huh? I push this. Now, seriously, what else could I... Obviously, I hit something. Is that you?
Yeah. How to take advantage.
Well, let's just fumble our way along. We only got 25 minutes, and then, although I'll be out here at 2 o'clock right sharp, so don't worry about that. I will. We'll worry about it in the morning.
Right.
I don't hear your echo. I hear everything sounds exactly the same to me, just like normal. Okay? Let me try this. How's that sound?
Hello? Echoing.
See, I couldn't hear you then because I have to put it back on program. How did I wind up hitting 3 buttons all at the same time? I think there are gremlins. Yeah, I think they're gremlins. Anyway, let's take a call or two because they're going to also be echoing. I think it should be pretty exciting radio. WQAM, hello.
That's what you got to put on between 2 and 4. All echoes all the time.
Echo. That's a good idea. Not bad. Thanks, Pally. Good idea. All the echoes all the time. Now, how did that sound? Really echoey?
Oh yeah.
Well, then what's going on over here? What happened? What did I do? It's my fault. I'll take the blame for this one. I hit something. Now, on the QAM pot, on the return pot, I have pressed down. Is there an engineering type person, or do you just know this?
I just know. We have the same setup over here to hear you.
Okay. So on a QAM return pod, there are 2 buttons there, program and audio. I have program out. Huh?
Deactivate program.
Deactivate program?
Deactivate.
And what about that? That's not going to work.
And activate audio.
Because now I can't hear you.
Okay. Audition.
Okay, what?
No, we're just going to try it both ways. It's either program or audition, but not both.
Okay, that's audition is on. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
See, that's obviously not the one.
Because you don't hear me.
Now, what about now? Do you hear me now?
No, what about on your pod?
You worry about your pod, and I'll worry about my pod, okay?
I got no worries.
Now, what about on my pod?
No, nothing. That shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Well, they're both pressed down now. Is that wrong? I know they shouldn't both... Huh?
That's wrong.
Okay, audition is pressed up. Now, you can hear me and I can hear you. There should be no problem of any kind whatsoever now.
Right. Except for that echo.
There is still the echo?
Sure.
Well, where's it coming from? Where is that damn echo coming from? Damn it. This is going to drive us all nuts. Do we have an engineer in the building? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a joke.
No, it's lunchtime, I guess.
Oh, I see. All day is lunchtime.
From 11 to 3.
Yeah. I don't have anything else left to push, you know? Well, I do have this. I could put the TV on.
Yeah.
But hotel operators say they are
now, how does that
deterred.
sound?
Cleanup work has already begun.
So, in other words, anything from here is not echoing. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
Okay.
You could. Rectum.
Okay. I'll work on it. There's nothing else for me to push here, man. Everything else is like double-duty push down. Every other pod. The DCS has got double, and they have nothing to do with this anyway.
No, we don't have no return on, do we? Other than that. No. Okay.
Now, it's got to be on your... Huh? You must have punched something there.
No, we didn't. Josh was leaning back half asleep against the other wall there.
Right. Well, then what could it possibly be, man?
I don't know. You did something.
I could just cut you off altogether.
Go for it.
Okay, how's that? I can't hear a thing you're saying because I closed your pod. That's probably not a good idea.
Duty. Oh.
He was just saying you got to do your duty, do your best to do your honor, being a good Boy Scout. That's what he was saying. Something about doing your duty. Maybe he's kin to that kid that's obsessed with toilets, that 8-year-old kid. Okay, so in other words, the calls you're telling me are also echoing. So anything coming from that end is echoing off.
Right.
Well, I don't know why that should be because there's nothing else to push here. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Look at your board, okay? Excuse us, folks. We're doing a little engineering here on the air.
I'm going in the other room.
Look at your board, okay? Are you looking?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay. All of the pots, the CDs, the DCS, all of these have 2 buttons on top, right? Program and audition, and they're both pressed down. Right?
Right.
Microphones, same thing.
Right.
Then we get to the return pot. It says WQAM on top. There are 2 buttons.
Correct.
One says out program. That's punched down right now. The other one says audition. That's the only button on the board that's in the up position. It's not punched down.
Correct. That's the way it should be.
Okay. And then the right-hand pod has nothing to do with any of this because that's for the TV and the cassette. That's totally extraneous. So there's absolutely nothing here that should be affecting anything different than what it was before. You see what I'm saying? So it's on your end.
But we didn't push anything over here.
Let me try this. Suppose I'll tell you what. During the break, what I'll do is I'll it's got to be on the phone line, doesn't it?
Maybe. What was that, Josh? What if the brakes echo?
Well, how can that be? The brakes aren't coming out. They're going to echo?
No, not if we shut your pot off during the break, which I'm sure we'll have to do.
Right. You'll shut the pot off, and what I'll do is I'll reset the telos.
Okay.
And then when we come back, then we can kill some more good time this way.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
They're old. They're the California prunes.
So then you're getting old and gray, and you're constipated every day. You want some relief, and that's for sure. And so for you, we got the cure. Just eat some of us, eat us every day, and then flush your cramps away. Don't you know that they're wrinkled and they're pasty? Man, I'm usually so pasty. X-Lax is nice, but it don't work fast. Just eat some foods, they're real fast. On the party, yeah. On the party, if you eat a store of Smarty Pants.
California prunes. What a way to go.
Okay, 142. Let's try this experiment now. How's this sound, okay?
Hello. I'm still echoing.
What is it?
I'm still echoing. So is everything else coming out of the studio.
Well, it's definitely on your end. What would I have to do with anything that's coming out of your studio?
The return, somehow.
Yeah.
The pot that you monitor to hear us is somehow getting fed back at us.
Back at you?
Exactly.
How about now?
Hello?
Still echoing?
Yeah. Maybe we should call somebody.
Yeah. Well, 143, I mean, I think we can take our way through to the end of the hour this way, and then we can, in the morning, have somebody stand by and see if we can fix this all up. And if not, we'll just go home. Oh, that's right, I am home.
Good plan.
Well, no, I mean, I don't see, there's nothing else that I can do here, okay? There's absolutely nothing else that I can do technically. It's reset the telos, did nothing, everything is back fine the way it was on this end, and it's, again, as usual on your end.
The Q works on your board, doesn't it?
Right.
You could, it would sound like crap on your end, but you could just
I put you in Q, I hear you. What?
Right. You could just listen to us in Q.
What do you mean by that?
There's Q on that pot, right?
Yeah, but if I have the pot closed, am I going to hear you? Let's see, let me try it now.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
In Q.
Yes, and are you echoing still?
No.
Oh, so it's the return then?
Right. I mean, I can hear it a little bit because just what's coming through your microphone, but no.
Right. And now if I put it back like that, then you're still echoing again?
Hello? Yeah.
Oh, so that's it's in this pot.
It's the pot.
Oh, no. Now, don't tell me we're going to have like a technical nightmare on this end on this pot, are we?
I'm sure it's something simple. You got it back on, don't you?
I have what back on?
That pot.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're still echoing?
Yeah.
Let me bang it a couple times. Let me smash it with a hammer, a ball-peen hammer. And now?
Hello?
Same crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's a fax from somebody who says the cost of U.S. military operations in Iraq is currently about $4.4 billion a month. This does not include the eventual cost of rebuilding all the stuff we've blown up, assuming we do so. Other costs, such as Iraq-related intelligence operations, etc., also not included either in the $4.4 billion a month. So our generous $350 billion pledge for tsunami aid adds up to about $350 million pledge for tsunami aid adds up to about 2.5 days of our Iraq military operation alone. I think this tells you all you need to know about the current Bullschmitter-in-chief and his cronies. See, they got $350 billion. Should be $350 million. So is there somebody in there now working feverishly on this or not?
No.
Okay, so let me try that deal again and put you on Q.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that doesn't sound... Now I hear myself echoing back through this.
Oh, that's right,
it?
because... No.
A little bit. Or maybe that's just my imagination.
Maybe we're all going crazy.
That could be it. I like it better back this way, because then at least to myself I sound okay. And you sound all right up here, too. It's just that when it returns back to you, it's all screwed up.
Right.
I'll be damned. Let me try this, and let me try banging a couple of these here like that. And how about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, echoing.
Oh, damn. And what about with that caller I put on here, that caller too there?
Yeah, the caller was echoing too.
Yeah.
And so did the spots.
Huh?
So did the spots that we played from down here.
So did the spots, but I thought
he shut the pot off.
Right.
Otherwise, they would echo as well.
So it's in the return here.
Right.
Oh, boy. Well, I better not diddle with it, you know? I might bang it a little bit. How's that?
Yes.
WQAM technical line, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to listen to Audition in your headphones?
I don't wear headphones. I have some here.
Okay, because you may have knocked something out on the QAM return pod. QAM return pod should only be an Audition. Everything else should be a program and Audition, and you should be listening to Audition.
I'll be damned. So who's this?
It's a guy across the street.
Oh.
Not in Toronto, in Miami.
Well, I got both of them down now, but the problem is if I just have the Audition button down on the return pod.
But can you listen in your speakers? Listen to Audition only. That way you'll hear yours back, but it won't be feeding back to Miami.
That might be what you did.
Oh, wait a minute. Just
remember you said you knocked.
Oh, wait a minute. I got it straightened out now. Hang on a second. Now I got it straightened out.
The monitor selector.
Huh?
There goes the echo. It's gone.
It's gone. See, I just fixed it. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, you're welcome.
George will be over across the street with $1 million for you. Thanks. Who was that masked man?
One of our neighbors.
No, you know what happened?
I do now.
The Source Select, accidentally, when I moved the schedule around, and I hit the button there, instead of Audition in, which it's supposed to be on all the time, I hit Program. Which, I mean, that's a little bit too technical even for me, but in other words, the settings weren't where they're supposed to be.
Right.
So now we're back to where we were. Thank you very much. See, we have to depend on some guy across the street who don't even work here.
Hey, they have an engineer.
Yeah.
Over there.
But how would he know what this board looks like?
Because they're pretty standard.
Are they really? They're all
sure. They were like this at IOD.
I think the audience just ear witnessed one of the great events in the history of mankind, don't you?
Sure. That's a $7,000 value right there, that broadcasting lesson.
God, thank you so much, sir. If I had like $1 million cash laying around spare, we'd send it to you in a small.
I'm getting technical faxes telling us what to do.
Really? But that was fun, though. It killed about 15, 20 minutes. I mean, we didn't get a chance to take our usual quota of fantastic calls, but that was exciting.
We could cook something up for tomorrow that would take us an hour to fix.
All right. Well, listen, you have no idea what, because nobody can see what I'm doing here. I can, take my screwdriver and just jam all kinds of stuff. I can jam on it.
It's good nobody can see what you're doing.
I could put some elderberry jam on it. And maybe kind of lick it around the edges and the board, too. Anyway, how's that poll coming now that you guys... Oh, thank God he called in. I knew I screwed up the one thing here. How the hell did I do that? I accidentally... It was just because of this damn schedule. Blame it on Clarence. It's his damn crappy schedule that got it all screwed up. It's your fault, Clarence. You're the fall man. That's what the Beast said. Who should do 2 to 4 on QAM starting next Monday afternoon? 568 votes. That's not too bad. We will get over 600 by 2 o'clock, or we're putting Joe Zagacki on 24/7. Jeff DeForest, 151. Looks like Defo wins by default. Kim Bocamper has passed. Now, what is that? 96? This has got to be a setup deal, huh? Where did he come from? This is another one of those phony deals?
Why do you think?
Because he was like nowhere. He was a nowhere man. Curtis Stevenson, who was hanging in there second, 86. He's really got the second spot. The Kimba thing is a phony. Kimba's going to do it. Me, Kimba.
Oh, God.
The big O is 61, who is really...
rock solid.
The big... Oh! Mo Howard David at 59. In fact, the big O is only...
rock solid.
Between the ears. Mo 59. Warren the Crow 37. Geldy has only got 35. Wow, boy. He's right on his old partner's ass there. Joe Zagacki 23. Lenny Martez 13. And Troy Stratford,
Roy!
has only got 7. I think this is exciting that we actually went through that whole thing and fixed because this is really... This is the epitome of do-it-yourself radio, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In that studio, the refrigerator, the microwave, which of course have nothing to do with broadcast, but nevertheless it's survival. They're gifts from listeners.
The blender,
the blender, the computer, the TV.
Well,
they did replace the TV, but again, the original one was Jeff Cohen. What else did I buy that's sitting in there? Just all kinds of stuff.
I brought in a cabinet and a scented candle on mine.
What about that printer, the fax machine?
I don't remember. They might have bought that.
I bought that.
Okay, you bought it.
And, of course, here I got these nice 2 Denon CD decks, brand new, which I not only purchased but installed myself personal. So welcome to Do-It-Yourself Radio.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 566 QAM.
Neil, God.
Jumped in a taxi cab. I said, driver, Central Park. He looked at me so quizzically, I could tell he was in the dark. So I acted out my park charade, and with my arms the trees I made. Nobody speaks English anymore. I went down to Miami Beach where the weather is nice and sunny. I walked into a liquor store, but the guy there talks real funny. So I asked him for a pint of old Jim Beam. He says, "No entiendo. What does that mean?" Nobody speaks English anymore. At the corner deli. Hell, I think I'm in Pakistan. Speak English, smelly. Or you can go back to Iran. I came here many years ago. Learned my ABCs. I don't say muchas gracias. I say pretty please. So get yourself to a classroom quick. You're in America now. Stop making me sick. Nobody speaks English anymore.
While I was playing that, I was in there taking a leak in the other room, in the tea room.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, I can hear it. I got the monitor up loud enough. I can hear it in the other room. And I thought, well, I'll just let it run out and then hear you freak out.
Well, you'd have done something.
Because you have a tendency of, freaking out when in doubt.
Right.
About these things.
Well,
but nevertheless. So we got that fixed. It's really quite a commentary on this operation that we have a technical problem of, I would say, fairly significant proportion. Not life-threatening, but close to it. And we have to get it solved with a phone call from somebody who works, obviously, for the competition, right?
Right.
An engineering type or whatever, right?
Sure.
Who's clearly listening to the show, which shows he's got good taste. And number 2, thank you very much. Because our engineers, they're busy doing their siesta from 10 a.m. till midnight. That was special. Let's take a couple of good calls in here, then we'll make way for the Mad Dog, who I'm sure will have lots more. Get it in writing, baby. Let me tell you right now, Mr. Mad Dog. Get it in writing, get it stamped, notarized, sealed, etc. Get 40, 50 different copies of it. And then the Humper at Wyndham Crystal Palace, 4 to 7. Well, we'll find out. Now, I don't want people judging the Humper in the morning, Monday morning. Do you?
No.
After a week, we'll see how he functions, his bodily functions, all these things. Because when you go from, doing afternoons, especially being the night owl that Hank is, and then start getting up 5:30 in the morning doing a morning show, that's going to take a while for him to, get his whole body adjusted, that big, fat body of his adjusted, and get into the swing of it. How many years do you think that'll take?
About 30, man.
WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil. Reverend Jones.
I think they enjoyed it. In fact, I think we may have discovered a new format. We may have fallen into something or onto something.
You remember how you did it, right?
Oh, yeah, I can do it. You want me to do it again?
Yeah, do it again.
No, thanks. We'll try it tomorrow. And in fact, when you least expect it, what I'll do is I'll rejigger it. WQAM, hello.
Whatever happened to Bill Smith?
Oh, gosh almighty. Whatever happened to Blind Mike and the dating show? How's Blind Mike doing? Get a life already, will you, sweetheart? My God, it's 30 years later and you're still the same piece of turd. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just saw on ESPN, Mad Dog signed the contract 2 to 6.
On ESPN, right?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Okay. He signed a contract 2 to 6. Okay, whatever you say, pal. Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? If he did that. I know this guy's full of crap. Like ESPN is going to put Mad Dog being on QAM. Right. But that would be great. That's the answer right there. 6 to 7, forget about it.
So here's a fax.
Yeah, that says?
I would send it to you, but we're running out of time.
We don't have time. We got 2 minutes.
George, Neil hung up before I had a chance to say, have a light day. Glad I could be of assistance in resolving the backhaul issue. Happy New Year to both of you. Rob Sidney, PD 101.5 Light FM.
I'll be damned. Well, thank you, Rob. What a guy.
Jefferson
I thought it was
Pilot Station.
Right, that is across the street. It's
Thanks,
on 441. Thanks a lot, Rob. He's the PD?
That's what he says.
At Light 105. Well, no wonder he's listening to us. Who the hell wants to listen to that crap? I mean, right?
Doesn't
he wants a little entertainment in his life, Rob does. He wants to hear what's going on the Neil Rogers Show. This is where the people meet and greet and eat, and they're all sweet and get beat real bad if they act bad, especially if they talk bad about Maddie Bell. Well, that just made, what did I tell you before? Now, tomorrow will be the cutoff day, I'm sure. This ain't going to last that long. We've been doing this in this town for too long, but it's just been so damn nice for 3 days. And, of course, the anticipation of going back full-time next week to 10 to 2 is kind of a nice thing as well. And I think Howie's been, I think it's good that, like, this morning he went to, 10:40?
Right.
Because we're not doing, the full 4 hours yet, but a couple of days, yesterday and Monday, we did, starting at about 10:15 one day, 10:20 the next. So it's like easing, like I said about Hank, you have to ease your way back into it. Am I right? Now, you did the vacation thing when you had to do, when you've been doing only 3 hours, 3 hours and 10, 3:15.
It's brutal.
It's a piece of cake, but then you got to go back to the little 4 hours again. You think, holy crap.
All of these things.
Right. This is a long freaking shift. Although I'll tell you, 2 to 6, man, I've done it. Okay, see, just in case the Mad Dog might be enticed into that, 2 to 6 goes by just like that. You got all the traffic reports, all the great interruptions.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It is a piece of cake.
Lots
2
of
to 6, Jim, man, it starts today on QAM.
Bye, bye, bye.